We are back inside the Stone Castle as Tennessee High gets ready to take on the David Crockett Pioneers in a crucial region matchup with playoff positioning on the line. He's Ron Marvel. I'm Chris Mangrum. We thank you for tuning in here on BTES. Whether you're watching on our YouTube channel at BTES Videos or on your TV from home, channel 7 or 207, or maybe on your internet stream as well, we thank you for spending your Friday night with us. We hope we have another great contest for you here tonight between David Crockett and Tennessee High. Ron, coming into this game, it's a little bit similar to what we talked about last week. We have two teams that are kind of going in opposite directions. Tennessee High on a 3-game winning streak where they've outscored their opponents 121-14.
Well, let's talk about where we're at with this game, right? The winner of this game is going to be in the driver's seat for a home playoff game. So there's definitely something big at stake tonight. You've talked about it already tonight with Tennessee High. After starting 0-3, they've been on a bit of a run. They've held points. They've held teams to just 14 points over the last 3. Although we could easily talk about the competition that they've played, but defensively, they're starting to come together, and with the addition of Plumbar in the backfield, you're really starting to see more and more balance. One of the things you and I talked about today, and I actually had to call you to say, wait a minute, am I looking at this right? Right now, Tennessee High has 300 more yards passing right now than they do running the football. When you think about Tennessee High, you don't think about that passing attack, you think about the running attack. But when you've got weapons on the outside, like Harkleroad and Price, and throw Music in there, we'll see what he looks like with a cast on his hand tonight. You've got to use those weapons. For Crockett, on the other hand, started off the season strong, played real good competition the last 2 games between Sevier County, who very well may be a favorite to win state again in 5A, and then they also played a very physical Gate City team. One of the things that Coach Chanley shared with us last week was the fact that they were down some folks on their offensive and defensive line, guys who played both ways. Chris, and you know as well as I do, if you're going to go play Gate City, you do not want to be down a couple linemen because physically they will wear you out up front.
Last week in the game between Crockett and Gate City scored a touchdown on each of their first 7 possessions against the Pioneers, and they also were unable to get to 100 total yards in the game. So this is a team that's kind of reeling coming off that Gate City game last week, and they'll look to turn it around here against Tennessee High. We've got the game coming up, but we've got way more than that, as we always do on Gridiron Game Day. Hope, what's going on tonight?
Thank you so much. So we're very excited for the football game, and we've also got a lot going on here on the sidelines. See, we've got several interviews that I'm really looking forward to, and we're going to be hearing from the Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week. And we also got homecoming coming up at halftime, and we're going to be hearing from the King and Queen, which is going to be very exciting. And then we've got a performance from the band coming up. So just stick around, and we'll be back after this.
Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services is your hometown provider of electric, internet, telephone, and cable television services. With our robust fiber optic network, we offer internet speeds of 10 gigabits per second to every home and business in our service area. Our mission is to enrich our community while striving to make tomorrow better than today. BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity.
Timeless country.
Oh, play me some mountain music.
She said, here she wants chance, fancy, don't let me down.
The good stuff that brings back so many memories. 96.3, The Possum.
And that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee.
96.3, The Possum.
So we're here with the superintendent, Dr. Tudor of Bristol, Tennessee City Schools. So first off, I want to say congratulations. I know you've had a lot of accomplishments here. So how does it feel to be recognized as Tennessee's Superintendent of the Year?
Well, first of all, I was very shocked and surprised by the recognition. Obviously very honored. I think I'm most proud that it's a testament to the hard work that our students and staff do every day. It's really not so much about me as it is what everybody else in our district does. So I'm very proud of that, but very humbled and very surprised.
Yeah, well, you definitely deserve it. So you were first named the first region superintendent, and then you were named the Tennessee superintendent. So what kind of went through your head throughout all of that?
Well, the first recognition really came from my peers. So in the first region of Tennessee, there are 17 total school districts and superintendents, and those superintendents were the ones who nominated me. So that's an honor in and of itself that my colleagues nominated me for that recognition. So I was very humbled just by that, and thought I knew who I was up against at the state level. I knew the superintendents across the state who were also nominees, and I thought there was just no way that I would win it. So I was completely shocked. I even told my husband not to worry about coming to the banquet because I thought there was no way I would win. So very humbling experience and very surprised by it, and certainly honored by the whole thing. So
yeah, that's awesome. So what does this recognition mean to the school system, and how, like, for you personally as a whole?
Well, what I think, like I said, I think I'm most proud of what I included in my application are all the things that our teachers and our administrators and our students are accomplishing across the district. So it really recognizes the efforts of everyone, and I think it's great for our community. It brings great awareness to the opportunities that we have for our students in our school district. So I'm very proud of that we get to really kind of highlight and spotlight the things that we have here in Bristol for our students, and that's what I'm most proud of. I think for me it's very humbling. Like I said, I feel like I'm representing my team, my leadership team, and can say thank you for all the things that they do. This is really recognition for them.
Awesome. Well, that's such an amazing accomplishment. I know everybody's very proud of you, and thank you so much for taking the time to come down here with us for a little bit. And earlier this week, we also got the chance to speak with our Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week, Reed Miller, and he got to talk a little bit about the basketball season. So let's go take a look at that.
Left that one short. There's Miller with the layup on the rebound, and good. Nice job by Reed Miller following that shot, and Tennessee High takes the lead.
I'm with this week's Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week, Reed Miller. Reed, let's talk a little bit about what you're involved with here at Tennessee High.
I'm on the Tennessee High School basketball team. I volunteer my time as a wildlife leader down at the middle school, and I'm part of Young Life.
So you said you're on the basketball team. I know that season's about to get started here soon. So how have you guys been preparing during your off season?
We've been doing a lot of after school work. We've been in the weight room. We've been conditioning, playing pickup, just preparing.
And you also mentioned that you're in wildlife. Can you explain a little bit what you do with that and what that is?
Wildlife is like it's like a youth group for middle schoolers, and we come and we play games. Then after we play the games, there's like a sermon at the end. It's a way for middle schoolers to meet Jesus.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And you said you're a senior, so do you know what your plans are for after high school?
I would like to go play basketball somewhere in college, and then after college I would like to be a physical therapist.
Well, thank you for taking a little bit of time here today with us, and congratulations on being this week's Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week.
Howard out to Miller, who's got a good look at a three, and he banks one home.
So we're here at Tennessee High, and we've got the band coming up here soon, and we're playing against David Crockett. So stick around, and we'll be back after this.
Hey, I'm Josh Warner. I'm the franchise owner-operator at Chick-fil-A at the Pinnacle in Bristol, Tennessee. I joined Chick-fil-A in 1996 as a teenager and worked for Chick-fil-A through college, and we've loved being able to come back to Bristol and open our Chick-fil-A here. We have been very thankful and appreciative for the work that BTES has done for us with the reliability of their services. We've been pleased to use them for our internet and phone services as well as electrical utilities. Everything has been phenomenal, especially the business services division, which has provided great support for us.
Welcome back. We are pregame here in the Possum pregame show here at the Stone Castle. We'd also like to thank Danielle Parker for sponsoring our drone shots here at home throughout the season. Some beautiful shots from high above each and every week, thanks to our awesome crew. Move Smarter with Parker, with Danielle Parker. We do have a packed house tonight with the calendar. We've got homecoming coming up at halftime. We've got the band coming up as well here soon. And the band's got a very big event coming up this weekend as well. It's an annual event that's held right here inside the Stone Castle, and that is Music in the Castle coming up tomorrow. You see the Tennessee High Band preparing to get ready to play here in pregame. Again, that's tomorrow, Saturday, October 4th. Gates open early in the morning. That's 10:15 a.m. with the event starting at 10:45. You see 21 bands competing, and of course the Tennessee High Mighty Viking Band will play, but they're not competing. It'd be a little odd for the home band to get to compete in their own stadium. They do perform as an exhibition, but also if you're in the area, come out. ETSU's band will be here to perform as well as food trucks, vendors, and that kind of thing. It's always a big event here for Music in the Castle coming up tomorrow. Now, Ron, as we continue in our pregame show, we've got some pretty important notes, specifically on the side of Crockett. You mentioned earlier they were missing a few players last week. They might have a few of those players back, but they won't have a very important one tonight.
Yes, big weapon for them tonight. We found out that Jackson Overstreet will not be playing tonight. Averages about 100 yards per game. Well, I was really looking forward to that Harkle Road Overstreet matchup. How much he played him on an island and how much help he had over top, I don't know. We do know Gabe Story's going to be going to that X-Box, and Coach Chanley's got a lot of confidence in him. One of the things that he talked to us about this week is he's going to unleash him. Now, we'll see exactly what that means tonight for Gabe Story.
If you think about summarizing the season for these two teams so far, Tennessee High kind of dealt with injuries early in the year. In those first couple of games, they're now pretty healthy. Coach Holt told us they're pretty much 100% ready to go on the roster. And obviously when you look at the other side, Crockett is kind of reeling from some injuries, maybe missing some key players, and we expect that to play a major factor in tonight's contest, a region matchup between Tennessee High and David Crockett. As Ron already mentioned, this result will have a huge impact on the standings. We'll get to that in a little bit as both these teams are trying for a home playoff game this year. All right, I think the band is almost in position. Let's check out their performance here. It's the Mighty Viking Band.
Mighty Viking Band will be performing their 2025 program entitled Steeped in Madness. Musical selections include Mad World, Toxicity, Waltz No. 2, and Hand Me My Shovel. Featuring solos are Shelby Venning and Jackson Lemons. Drum majors, you may enter the field.
thank you to the mighty Viking band for another excellent performance as they get warmed up to play here tomorrow for Music in the Castle. We are here in the Stone Castle. It's Tennessee High and David Crockett coming up on Gridiron Game Day. Don't go anywhere.
Timeless country.
Oh, play me some mountain music.
She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down.
The good stuff that brings back so many memories. 96.3, The Possum.
And that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee.
96.3, The Possum.
Back inside the Stone Castle, we'd like to welcome you from wherever you're tuned in from here tonight on our YouTube channel at BTES Videos, at channel 7207, or watching online. We appreciate you for tuning in here this evening. As we get prepared for a region matchup, it's very important to get a little context on the region here for Region 5. You see the map here of the teams in Region 1 5A. Ron, break it down for us.
Well, you know, as far as Crockett goes, because they've got that 2-point win over Morristown West, that puts them in a really good position regardless of what happens tonight for a playoff berth. Bristol, the Vikings clearly have their eyes set on that home playoff berth. They've got some opponents coming up that's going to test their defense. Of course, a lot of this is going to come down to how they perform. Boy, if they could sneak out a win against Sevier County. Now, Chris, that's a tall task. That's a very good Sevier County team. But if they could sneak out, then everything on this map changes drastically.
As we take a peek at the conference standings, Tennessee High still sitting in second place, and you can see why tonight's game is so important with the number 2 and 3 teams currently going at it. A win here for Tennessee High keeps them undefeated in region play, puts 2 losses on Crockett, and with Tennessee High playing Morristown West next week, you don't want to get too far ahead, Ron, but a win this week and next week really sets them up.
Yeah, sets them up well. And then, you know, as you and I talked about, it's also that time of the year when you start looking at Region 2. And of interest this year in regards to Region 2, that region may actually be down a little bit. When you look at Powell, they don't seem quite like the team as far as the points they're putting up. Knox West with the loss of Coach Lamar Brown, that's a big loss, and they're sort of going through a transition. So it's going to be interesting come playoff time, which we're getting closer to all the time. These teams are going through the grind, Chris. We'll see who wants it more.
We got a chance to catch up with Coach Holt earlier this week to get his thoughts on the performance against Abingdon last week, a win 43-7, and previewing tonight's contest against David Crockett.
We kind of knew coming in that we didn't really know what to expect offensively from Abingdon, so we kind of were as simple as we could be in that first half and just had to adjust out on the from the sideline there. But, you know, they did that maybe 2 years ago, but we didn't see it on film for a while. So we adjusted out and came in at halftime, knew what we needed to do and fixed it and came right back out, you know. And we were kind of moving the ball pretty well offensively in the first half, just a bad snap got us. And then we tried to recover from that. But after we kind of got both feet in the ground, we were in pretty good shape. You got to take care of business in your conference. And that's been our goal all year is a home playoff game. So that means we got to take care of all those all those conference games that we see throughout the year to get that home playoff game. So there is a little more importance on that just because it means so much, and it's really our main goal this year is to take care of the conference so we can have a home playoff game here in the Castle. All those other games were great. They were tune-ups. You know, we've already had one conference game under our belt, but ultimately in the state of Tennessee, when you're after championships, all that really matters is your conference. They're really good in the screen game, real good in the screen game, and those are sneaky for attacking style defenses like we have. You know, we got to be careful, make sure we see that. They've got kind of heavier backs that run real hard. They're a little bit bigger up front than us, which we see every single week, to be 100% honest with you. But I think their identity is they're going to want to run the ball a little bit, but throw it off of that run stuff and mix the screen game in, which they always do. You know, about every year they'll hit us on a screen or a back out of the backfield. So we got to make sure our kids see everything. You know, they throw a bunch of formations at you. They'll move a tight end, they'll cover him up. Sometimes they'll put him on the nub side. Sometimes they'll put him on the short side. But they do a good job with formations. We just got to make sure that we see our keys fit where we got to fit. They do a good job with movements and pressures. You know, they've got a lot. They do a lot of X stunts. They'll bring some pretty exotic long stick stunts off the edge, and then 2 through the B and the C gap. But you know, they do a great job mixing up pressures, and they're pretty good on the back end and coverage. So we just got to make sure that we're getting our head where it needs to be up front on offense, and the backs are hitting where they're supposed to. And you know, this is one of those games you got to be happy with a 4 or 5 yard gain. You just got to, you know, be consistent offensively and make sure you're moving the ball down the field to open up some of those big pass plays that we've had so far. We just got to be disciplined. You know, there's going to be some emotion there. You know, there's decent little rivalry between us and Crockett. We just can't let that stuff get out of hand. We're going to make sure we see what we're supposed to see. That goes with offensively, that we see the guys that are blitzing, and then defensively too, that we see those screen backs coming out or back out of the backfield. So we just got to be super disciplined.
All right, we appreciate Coach Holt each and every week giving us a little bit more information on his team, on what he sees out of his opponent weekly. And speaking of that opponent, Ron, we're going to start digging into the key players as we see the Tennessee High team getting prepared for the Viking walk to take place here shortly. But first, for Crockett, one of our key players to watch in tonight's game is none other than Sam Casey, a big running back. He also plays linebacker, two-way guy, leads the team in rushing, but is also an excellent defensive player.
Yeah, he's sort of their bell cow when it comes to the running game. Last week, 31 carries. Defensively, he's that Sam linebacker, is able to see the field well and helps get people in position. So extremely important to this team on both sides of the football.
In the first game against Unicoi earlier this year, they interviewed Unicoi's coach after the game, and he said that they tried to run every play away from number 7. We'll see if Tennessee High does something similar here tonight. And on the side for Tennessee High, it was our player of the game from last week's contest, Elijah Plumbar, who crossed the 100-yard mark in a game in just his 3rd game back. And Ron, despite missing the first 3 games of the season, he's already Tennessee High's leading rusher.
Yes, and already has 4 touchdowns in 3 games. And what you see if you've watched on video the last several games is he's just starting to hit the hole quicker and quicker. So yeah, anticipate a big game out of him tonight as well.
All right, so as you can see, there's some Vikings walking through the stands as it is time for the Viking walk here in pregame. As we've seen so far this year in our contests here in the Stone Castle. Cool little tradition as the Vikings come down through the stands, walk through the crowd on their way down to the field, as you see a look there. And a special night here inside the Stone Castle as we have homecoming coming up at halftime also, and that always brings an excellent crowd to the castle. Let's hear Rocky Top. Excellent rendition of Rocky Top. Won't get to hear that as much this weekend here in Northeast Tennessee, as the Tennessee Volunteers have no one to play this weekend. So this is the prime time football game of the week here up in Northeast Tennessee as Tennessee High and Crockett get ready to do battle in this region contest between these two teams. This is the 23rd meeting all time between the schools. Tennessee High leads the series 15-7 all time. They've won 3 in a row, and most importantly, as we mentioned, the winner of this team, or winner of this game rather, is in position to host a home playoff game later this season. Let's throw it down to the field for more pregame festivities.
Against the threats to our great nation. Let us remember our local law enforcement, emergency personnel, and other citizens as they work together to protect and promote our freedoms in this community. And as we practice and exercise our freedoms, let us think of freedom not as the right to do as we please, but as an opportunity to do what is right. Let us proudly display the red, white, and blue. Let us as a nation be resolved that America will always remain one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America in a moment of silence before the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Tennessee High Choir. Now please focus on the American flag as it is presented on the field by the Tennessee High School Junior ROTC Cadet Corps, followed by the singing of the national anthem by your Tennessee High School Choir. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, another great performance of the national anthem by the Tennessee High Choir as it's time to get in position as Tennessee High is getting ready to come on the field. And let's go ahead, Ron, and check out the keys to the game for these two teams tonight.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to Crockett, schematically and formation-wise, they do a lot of really, really good things. But one of the things when you watch on tape they struggle with at times is shutting those blocks. And that's going to be key in this matchup in regards to stopping Tennessee High's running game. The other thing you want to do as well, I think is going to be so important, is if you're Crockett, you want to get into those favorable matchups. It may be shifting some players around. It may be doing some audibles. It may be just sort of watching and making transitions, but you want to make sure that you've got the right guys in the right place. Now for Tennessee High, we talked about it last week. I went back and looked. You know, it's still this issue of I just don't feel like they've played 4 total quarters yet. You can look at Elizabeth and where they fell down behind 14-0. Chris, we were here for Science Hill. 21 points in the third quarter. One bad quarter is the difference in that game. You need to put together 4 quarters. Also, the other thing, very simple for them tonight, create some pressure. See if you can't get to win. See if you can't create some turnovers. Really hoping tonight, too, when we're talking about Samora, that he's got a better grip, if you will, on the snap game tonight, because it caused some issues last week.
We were here early in pregame and we saw, we believe, Samora out on the field working on those snaps. It's not just the snaps that go over the quarterback's head, but sometimes high snaps disrupt the timing of plays. We saw it disrupt an extra point last week as well, so that's something we'll certainly keep an eye on in the line of scrimmage as well. As you see David Crockett getting lined up and getting ready to come on the field, led by some of their key players. Zeke Sloan there in number 5. And there's our player to watch tonight in number 7, Sam Casey. Crockett struggling a little bit coming into the ball game tonight. As a program, they've lost 9 of their last 11 football games. Those 2 wins coming against Morristown East and Morristown West earlier this year, which has been a little rare for them in history, as the win over Moe East was only the 5th win for David Crockett in history against Moe East in 33 attempts. Then defeating Moe West was only the 3rd time they've done that in 39 games, and the 1st time they've ever beat both in the same season.
Yeah, history against them a little bit as you're reading off those numbers. Now, I will say this team, it seems as though they're on the uptick right now. Coach Chandler's doing a lot of things the right way.
You make the call. He's called tails. If I drop it, I'm going to do it again. And it is a tail. You've won the toss. Have decided to receive. Which way you want to kick? From the clock. You're down here. Tennessee High will have the second half choice. All right, good luck.
It's a crucial region matchup here in Region 1-5A as the Tennessee High Vikings take the field and host the visiting David Crockett Pioneers. Lots of neon in the stands tonight. In fact, on both sides of the field. He's Ron Marvel. I'm Chris Mangrum. Thanks for tuning in on Gridiron Game Day, wherever you're watching from tonight, whether it be on YouTube, on Channel 7 or 207, or watching on your internet stream. We'd like to welcome you in and thank you for spending a little bit of time with us here on this Friday night. Ron, always a privilege to come from the Stone Castle, or no matter where we broadcast from, and hopefully another great ball game tonight between two region teams.
Yeah, very special, although this atmosphere here for Tennessee High is just extra special. And you know, excited tonight for a good game between two rivals. One of the other things tonight that, this week, that Coach Holt shared with us in regards to Crockett is he really likes their linebackers. He said it's real important for his players tonight to keep their eyes up because they will hit you and hit you like they mean it.
In case you missed the Possum pregame show, Tennessee High has won 3 consecutive games after losing their first 3. They're right there at 500, trying to jump over that mark for the first time this season, and they have dominated their last 3 opponents by a total score of 121-14. On the other side for David Crockett, coming in reeling just a little bit. They've played some really good football teams these last 2 weeks, losing to Sevier County a few weeks back, 55-14, and then their most recent contest, a loss to a Gate City school, a 2A school in Virginia, 47-6. Now, that's a really good 2A school in Gate City tonight. They're playing a big game up at Union for a little bit of Southwest Virginia bragging rights, but it will be interesting to see how Crockett plays tonight against another very physical team like they struggled with last week.
Yes, and it's very important for Crockett in the early going of this game to match their physicality.
Hayden Chanley, the head coach for David Crockett. And Josh Holt on the other side. These two teams have a lot of respect for each other as they've coached against one another quite a bit here since Josh has taken the head coaching job in the last 4 years or so, with Tennessee High winning the last 3 matchups in this series. So Tennessee High will kick things off. As you see, there is one of the guys we're going to watch tonight, Gabe Story, Ron. As Coach Chanley told us this week, he would be crucial in filling in the role left by Jackson Overstreet, who is Crockett's top receiver and is unavailable tonight.
Yeah, and you know, you and I did some digging. We couldn't find much in the way of stats on the kid, so we'll just see how that plays out as well.
We're underway here from the Stone Castle as Story hits the 20-yard line and is finally tackled just shy of the 25, where the David Crockett offense will get started with the ball first.
You know, Chris, when it comes to their quarterback, A.J. Wynn, he's been dealing with an ankle issue all year long. He's very much a dual-threat quarterback because that ankle has given him so many troubles, you've not seen a whole lot of running. That might change tonight because Coach Chandler said he's on the verge of being 100%.
Hurt that ankle in the second game of the season against Westridge. Missed a game even, but is back in the lineup, and as Ron alluded to, getting a little healthier. First play, handoff up the middle, and Cooper Boer there to erase Sam Casey on the carry.
That's a situation right there. They've got a physical H in Ezra Haas, and he just could not get to the hole quick enough.
Here are the starters for the David Crockett offense. We mentioned Wynn, we mentioned Casey. Look out for Ezra Haas. He may carry it some as well. And they're finally getting a little healthier up on the line, led by Keegan Stonecipher. Second down and 11 as that first tackle in the backfield for the Vikings. Wynn zips one out, incomplete. That's Story, the intended target, and Harkleroad there to be in past defense. Third down. Take a peek at the Sunbelt Reynolds starting lineup for Tennessee High. Some familiar names if you've watched throughout the season, led by that man right there, Preston Fagans, who is having a fantastic season, leading tackler on the team with 8 tackles for loss. We've got a flag here, and who is it on? We've got a pointing war already.
False start, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, down remains third.
Chris, my eyes may have deceived me. I'll give you that. But when I looked at their lineup, I did not see Colton Mullis in their lineup, their tight end.
Yep, he's out there right now. They like to kind of use a tight end and age, sometimes both. They do go 4 wide receivers here with Mullis in the slot there, the big tight end. Third and long. Long ball, nearly intercepted by Plumbar. That was Marcus Carrier, the intended target, and a 3-and-out to start for the Vikings defense.
Yeah, and I bet Wynn liked to have that ball back because he had a step right there and just missed the connection.
This Crockett team likes to run the football, but it'll be interesting to see just how much they do it if they feel like they can't get the push that they want up front.
Then it become a question of how much they do miss Jackson Overstreet tonight.
Certainly. Ruben Ibarra Flores on the punt. And Tennessee High's got great field position as they're in plus territory to start their first drive against this Crockett defense that struggled last week against Gate City. The Blue Devils scored a touchdown on each of their first 7 possessions against this Crockett defense last week. And now the Vikings will try to replicate that success behind Jack Richardson, who's already crossed the century mark in passing yards.
Yeah, he's played really well this year. You know, he's see the field well. And one of the things that Coach Holt just continues to talk him up about is the fact that he's just a competitor.
Richardson only 320 passing yards last year. Granted, he did split time with Turner Elliott, but he has tripled that so far. Some motion here on 1st and 10 with Plumbar, the back with Richardson. And he'll get it on the first play of the game for the Viking offense, and he's got a first down.
And Chris, that's one thing I think they do really well, and that's run to that boundary side. They like the mismatch up there. They like the numbers that they can get with that.
Take a peek at the Sunbelt Reynolds starting lineup. You've already been introduced to Elijah Plumbar, who was our player of the game last week. Watch the trio of receivers, the seniors, Music, Price, and Harkleroad. Didn't need them as much last week because the running game was so good. We might see them get a little more involved here tonight.
Well, let's be real honest, too. Tennessee High was very opportunistic last week in some mistakes that Abington made.
Another carry for Plumbar. fights through a tackle and inside the 30, setting up second down and short.
And I think that's one of the biggest differences I've seen out of this Tennessee High team, Chris, is how well they're blocking at the next level.
Here's a peek at the David Crockett defense. The linebacker core is who you're looking for there. That's 5'7", 9'11". Sloan, Casey, Bradburn, and Haas. Little bunch look here for the Viking offense. Plumbar again. He's got the first down and fights his way through. My goodness, kept the feet going inside the red zone.
Chris, he's not the biggest guy, right? I mean, he's not, but has great balance, keeps the feet moving, and picks up great yardage after contact.
Thought this was going to be a short gain. Plumbar just kind of stays on his feet. Look at that balance, sticking the hand down.
Casey right there looked like he was more interested in slinging him to the ground than actually tackling him.
Heavy dose of Elijah Plumbar so far. Wonder if they run it behind the blockers left this time. Plumbar nowhere to go. Makes something happen. 15, 10, 5, end zone.
And if you're Crockett right now, you're thinking, what do we have to do to stop Plumbar? That was just completely bottled up. And somehow he took the smallest of holes right there, we'll call it a crevice, and turns it into a touchdown. Wow.
When I met with Josh Holt earlier this summer, he described Elijah Plumbar in this way. He said, you can't hit and knock this guy down. You can't just hit him and he'll go over. He has such great balance. He's got no fear going up there in the middle. And he's able to get in the end zone to give the Vikings an early lead as Dexter Dishner is on to try to make this a 7-point ball game. And he does. Can't draw up too many better starts, Ron, than what we just saw. A 3-and-out by the Tennessee High defense and running it right to the end zone as Elijah Plumbar does all the work on this drive, and it pays off with a touchdown for number 1.
For 85 years, United Southeast Federal Credit Union has proudly served our neighbors in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We're more than a financial institution, we're part of the community. With 6 convenient branches and a team dedicated to your financial well-being, we're here to help you grow, save, and thrive. On the go, our mobile app and online banking make managing your money easy. United Southeast Federal Credit Union, helping our members live better lives.
Back inside the Stone Castle, the Vikings off to a great start in this important region game as Elijah Plumbar takes it into the end zone. Does it all himself on that drive as Dexter Dishner sends the kickoff deep, and Crockett will look to make a move. Gabe Story beats a man at the 25, stays on his feet and falls just shy of the 30-yard line.
Involved on that tackle right there was Swaggerty. And you know, when you look at Swaggerty, he's just one of those kids right now that's playing himself into the lineup. He seems like he does a great job every week on special teams. Going to be hard to keep him off the field.
See Gabe Story on the return. Interesting story there as he laid a lick on music. As you mentioned, no stats for Gabe Story, but when Coach Chanley told us earlier this week that his top target, Jackson Overstreet, was going to miss this game, Gabe Story is the name he gave us to watch out for. Here's a keeper by Wynn, and he's loose. Wynn across midfield, and finally knocked out of bounds by Bo Utchman, and there's that quarterback run game that's going to be so crucial for the Pioneers.
Yes, and it's an element that they've been missing. We talked about that in the pregame. You add that to Wynn's game, and the rest of his game improves.
Last year, Wynn had over 500 yards on the ground, but because of that injury early, didn't run it as much, and now showing off what he can do.
Chris, I'm going to tell you, part of the reason that play worked was because the snap was bad. It was so far to the right, it forced Tennessee High to follow the ball, and it disrupted everything else.
And you also have to wonder, obviously Tennessee High knows Wynn, played last year. They're familiar with his game, but in watching this Crockett team, they probably haven't seen Wynn run as much this year, and that could be a bit of a surprise element and go kind of back into one of those keys of the game you were talking about, is kind of throwing those different looks.
Yes. When you get a running quarterback who's a dual threat like Wynn is, then all of a sudden you've got to stay home. You can't take those chances that Coach Holt talked to us about taking this week to create turnovers. You kind of have to stay home and keep a spy on him.
It's a big play for Crockett to get them into Tennessee High territory. Quick slant, and there is Gabe Story on the completion. First catch of the year for Gabe Story.
Got a feeling if he's as promising as Coach told us, he's gonna, that's the first of many coming his way.
Give right side, Sam Casey finds a few yards right near the first down marker, and I think he's got it. Gonna be close.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, being that downhill runner, and that's very much him. He kind of gets to that speed on his second or third step and looks to turn it upfield pretty quickly.
I'm not sure they realize how close this is here. As you get another peek at Casey being run out of bounds, and they may measure that. Oh, first down is the call.
Chris, more misdirection right there by Pioneers. They had two offensive linemen pull on that play.
Crockett moving the ball extremely well on this second drive. They went backwards on the first drive. Play fake. Wynn looks deep, and this one sails out of bounds. Story the target again.
And coverage down there by Harkle Road. I think right there, Wynn had an opportunity to set his feet. I don't think it would have mattered right there, but.
In Story, that replacement for Jackson Overstreet in his junior season, unavailable tonight. He came into tonight with 452 receiving yards, did Overstreet, and so he's not available. And Story kind of filling in his role in this offense, and off to a good start in what is his first prominent action of the year so far. Wynn, that ball batted around and incomplete as Zeke Sloan tried to catch it, but was juggling it there out of bounds.
Yeah, good pressure right there by the Vikings. We got a player down, though he looks like he's getting up pretty quick, Chris.
It's Boer. We saw Boer last week, if you remember, Ron, on that late touchdown run against Abingdon. Kind of get up slowly, and you wonder if something might be nagging him.
Yeah, and you know him and Price are just so important to this Vikings defense, because not only do they play the linebacker spot really, really well, both of them are so good in coverage.
Third down and 10 from the 28. Now, when you're talking about the David Crockett team moving into an opponent territory, you have to start thinking about a field goal kicker a little earlier than usual with some high school teams, as Ruben Ibarra Flores, they're pretty comfortable with him in the 45 to 50 range, even giving him a shot.
Yeah, Coach Chandler's words to us is, I've got a real weapon.
I think in all of his years coaching, probably the way he described his kicker, that was the best kicker he's had in his high school coaching career. Felt very comfortable. So we'll see if they can pick up this first down or if they'll run out for 3. And that play blown up, but still on his feet is Sloan, but quickly erased right around the 31, and he ends up losing a few yards. This would be about a 47 or 48 yard field goal.
Chris, for a high school kicker, that's about a mile.
Eyes on the sideline. It might be just a little bit out of his range.
Chris, that was just waves of Vikings coming in. They penetrated in the backfield, they disrupted the play, and then there was a second wave of Vikings that made the tackle.
So fourth down early. Maybe trying to get Tennessee High to jump and get a few yards. Coach Chandler's going to call timeout, and they're going to rethink this equation here. With the ball sitting just inside the 31-yard line. It would be a 48-yard field goal should they try it.
Hey, coming up in the fourth quarter, the Eddie's Trophy Player of the Game. Our Player of the Game last week for these Vikings was Elijah Plumbar, who had a great game last week, Chris. Of course, we were here, 130 yards and 1 touchdown. Once again, Elijah Plumbar. Stay tuned. Coming up in the fourth quarter, we'll have our next Player of the Game for this week. Always for us a hometown pick.
Yep, our Player of the Game brought to you by Eddie's Trophies. We will present that to a player on the home team each and every week. And Elijah Plumbar, I don't know. I'm not sure of the rules. This is kind of a new thing, but is he eligible again? He's off to a great start tonight with 4 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown.
You know, Chris, he had a great game, but I'm telling you, we could have made a strong argument last week with Preston Fagans as well.
Certainly. And look who is on the field. It's Ruben Ibarra Flores. His longest field goal of the season is 39 yards. This one is setting up to be a 47-yard attempt.
He's got to strike it low, Chris, from this distance.
Snap. Ibarra Flores just catches and goes down, and it will be a turnover. Would have kind of liked to see him get a shot at that. See if he could drain it.
I'd have liked to seen that. I'd also like to seen all those hands come up from the Vikings as well. Chris, how many bad snaps have we seen in this high school football season?
Been a trend, especially in some of the games we've done.
Yeah, not a great trend either.
Let's see. Just too high there for the holder. That's the quarterback, A.J. Wynn. And how about the hands there by the kicker? You don't see that too often. Could have been much worse. So 1st and 10 Vikings, as this looks to be the first pass attempt of the game. Richardson scans, flings, caught by Uxman at midfield for a first down.
Yes, he had multiple targets there as well. Plumbar was going down the boundary and had his hand up as well, indicating that he was open. Richardson rolls out and finds a couple targets downfield right there.
Talk about extending a play. Richardson runs around forever, and boy, is he good on the move.
Yep.
However, we do have a flag, and this one's coming back.
Spot, down remains first.
I guess that's the alternative to all that extending of the plays. You asking those linemen to block for a while.
And you know, Chris, we've talked about a quick start. I know for Coach Holt, right, you got that first touchdown, but I guarantee you, the Vikings coaching staff is looking for more right now, and this doesn't help.
Behind the chains here on first down. It's 1st and 20 with 4 receivers for the senior quarterback Richardson. Plumbar with the give. Stays on his feet and is finally wrestled down by Sean Summers.
You know, we talk about it with smaller backs. It's something larger backs can't do, and that is the property of getting skinny, where you don't give the defender your full shoulder length. He's very, very good at that.
So after the hold there on first down, making it 1st and 20, Plumbar able to get 7 yards back.
Sean Summers there for Pioneers on that tackle.
Richardson looking to create. Does so. Caught along the far side for a first down. Baron Harkleroad, his top target.
Yeah, he actually went in motion and pretty much, you know, he's set because he had to, but created some great space right there with that pre-snap motion.
How about that block by Plumbar to free that up, and what a throw.
You know what I like about Harkleroad so much is he's got the body and does a lot of things a big receiver does, but he's got those tendencies and the intricate parts of a small receiver's game, including that body control that he's so good at.
1st and 10, and Plumbar trips over his own feet. He might have tripped over Richardson there in the backfield, but this one goes for a loss.
Yeah, I think your call right there was correct. I think Richardson's right foot just clipped his ankle as he was going through the hole.
Talking with Coach Chanley earlier this week, and we kind of get this every time we talk to an opponent about Tennessee High. They're kind of saying, where did this throwing game come from? They're used to Tennessee High pounding it, but we've seen Tennessee High be able to move it through the air here tonight and stay balanced. They look to do it again here. Richardson in trouble and just gives up on the play right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, pretty smart by Richardson right there, Chris, because he was getting ready to get popped. He was sandwiched between 2 defenders.
So 3rd and long for this Vikings offense. They did score on their first drive as Elijah Plumbar took every snap. They handed it to him and was able to run all the way to the end zone for 49 yards.
We're bringing twins out here to the wide side. Price and Harkle Road on the boundary.
And a give to Plumbar, but he's wrestled down on the blitz, and that's Ezra Haas. What a name for a linebacker, huh?
Yep. And he just shoots that gap right there. He's in the backfield almost the moment the ball's handed off.
Haas, the leading tackler on this team. He's got the most tackles for loss. Adding on to that, he's also forced 4 fumbles on the season. So he is a disruptor. As Richardson kicks this one high in the sky. Carrier lets it bounce. Can they get there? Wow.
Yes, they are.
How about the spin on that one? Max Holt keeps that one out of the end zone. And another great field position flip here for the Vikings.
Yeah, I'd like to see that replay right here. Let's just make sure no part of his body touches the...
You're good there.
I think you're good. And I'm telling you right now, as well as everything else Harkle Road does, he kept him out of the end zone because I think his legs were headed in there.
That's the coach's kid there, Max Holt, on special teams, as Crockett is backed up at the 2-yard line. And especially for an offense that has been struggling, and Crockett having to go 98 yards is a lot to ask.
Well, Chris, do you send the house here?
We've seen a couple safeties from Tennessee High, as this one doesn't go anywhere on the carry by Casey.
Casey able to take that little dive, get back to the line of scrimmage.
2 straight games, Tennessee High defense has forced a safety. So perhaps trying to get their 3rd in a row here.
This would be a great time right here, Chris, to send a trailer maybe off of Stevens' backside.
Under center. A little push here as that's Wynn carrying Plumbar forward. Don't be deceived. That's a big body there, quarterback.
Yeah, and you know, to Crockett's credit right there, at the very least, they've gotten out of the shadow of their own end zone.
6'2", 205 quarterback, and he's shifty too.
Plumbar right there, a little difficult time trying to pull him down as he keeps the legs going. So this brings up just 3rd and 3 here, Chris. Opens up the playbook for the Pioneers.
In the gun. Handoff Casey pushing forward, and I think that last lunge got it for him.
We'll see, but I think you're right. I think he made it by about a yard, and they're already moving the markers.
Sam Casey, leading rusher for this Crockett team. He got hurt last year, didn't play a whole lot, broke his arm in week 2, missed the rest of the season. But as you said earlier, Ron, he's the bell cow of this backfield. They've handed it to him. They handed it to him 31 times in a game earlier this year.
And so strong right there, and you saw evidence of it on that last play.
Pulls here, still falls forward. Between Wynn and Casey, 2 big guys in the backfield, they're finding a little bit of push.
Yeah, but, and strong, both Wynn and Casey, but boy, are the Vikings getting penetration on every single play right now. Fegan's right there. Just missed the tackle. Oh, he was squared up so well, Chris.
A lot of these yards coming off extra effort.
Yes.
Runs. Action incomplete as Music knocks it away from Marcus Carrier.
Yeah, Chris, and if you'll notice right there, you see the cast on the hand of Music. That's a little troublesome for the Vikings in the fact he's another weapon in their receiving core. So the hope is if you're the Vikings, he doesn't have that cast on for very long.
We didn't see Dane on the field on offense because of that.
Yes.
And Ian Peak was the receiver in Dane's normal spot. So we'll keep an eye on that. 3rd down. Screen. Intercepted by the Vikings. Cooper Boer to the end zone. Cooper Boer had a fumble return for a touchdown in the first game this season and has an interception return in this one.
Hey, Crockett sets it up well right here with their players, but Boer just stays at the house on this play and shows great patience and discipline.
Keep an eye on 5. And it's to the house. Here's a 2-point try. Richardson looks to throw. It is caught in the back of the end zone by Barron Harkleroad, and Tennessee High adds 2 points onto their total as they lead this one 15-0. So Tennessee High opts to go for 2 there rather than just 1. Had a play that they liked. And were able to find Harkleroad in the end zone.
Chris, I can't tell you how difficult it is right there for Boer to stay home when all that's going on. They've set that screen up so very well for him to stay home and show that patience right there. Great play by that young man.
All right, now we've got a better look at that 2-point play. As you saw, Tennessee High kind of lined up in that swinging gate. Little roll right, throw back, and there he is. Vikings here in the first quarter. Remember that fast start that Coach Holt was looking for? I think he might have found it here tonight.
Yep, this will apply. We'll see how they continue this pressure and how the Pioneers respond.
Dishner sends it down to the 5. Here's Story again. And hit right away just inside the 25.
Good coverage right there by the Vikings.
On the first drive for Crockett, we saw them struggle. They went 3 and out, had to punt. Second drive, worked it down into field goal range, had a chance, although a long field goal try, and the snap was bad. So we'll see what Crockett can get going here, but it does seem, of course, we had the interception return on the last drive, of course, but we'll see if they can get it rolling a little bit and not find themselves down too much. Coach Holt told us they wanted to get up early in this game, and he's done just that. And on the roll, downfield. That one out of bounds, looking for Chase Taylor.
Was that Utzman right there applying the pressure? I believe it was.
And was under heavy duress there in the backfield.
And Chris, if that was Utzman, that was a corner blitz right there they sent on the backside nonetheless.
Looked like that was Reed. Reed. Honaker in the area as well. Second down. And going nowhere. Casey on the carry.
You know, we talked about the offensive line here for the Pioneers. They're still dealing with some injuries right there. They've got a freshman starting right now and a sophomore on that line. Cowan starting as a tackle. 6'3", 220. They've got good size up front, Chris. When you look at them, I mean, you know, you're talking 6'2", 6'3" across the board, 250, 260. So good size.
Parker Buchanan, a freshman in there at right guard. And a timeout on the field.
Yeah, Coach Shanley talked to us about Buchanan last week. Said all things considering, and the spot that he was put in, he actually played pretty well last week.
All right, so with a timeout here, 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Football season rolling strong, but we're not too far away from the round ball. As 42 years of tradition, elite competition, and unforgettable moments, that's the Classic at Tennessee High School, the nation's premier basketball tournament. Top-ranked teams and ESPN Top 100 players will be in Bristol December 26th through the 31st. Later this year at Viking Hall in Bristol, as you get a look at the teams. And if you're unfamiliar with the tournament, pretty much half the teams are local teams and half the teams are from all over the country. Used to even have some international teams come in from Germany, the Bahamas, and this is a very prestigious tournament known throughout the country. I'm sure you're there for that later this year. Third down. Wynn uses his legs and pushed out of bounds by Honaker, well shy of the marker.
Ben Stokes right there applying the pressure once again out of that 4-eye spot for the Vikings. And Chris, Wynn just can't get comfortable.
He hasn't had much time. We saw his offensive line struggle last week against Gate City to get the push up front. That is seeming to be the case here. And even as we said, some of the big gains that they've had have been just extra effort plays by those big running backs and Wynn himself.
Getting ready to get the ball again in good field position.
Got a fake here. And it's going to be enough, as that is a first down. That is Carson Bradburn. And he's able to sneak across, and that's well timed for Crockett.
Very physical player right there. Bradburn plays the hammer spot for the Pioneers on defense. And physicality gave him that last couple yards that he needed, because that was really close, Chris. But for the Pioneers, you need that type of big play right now to sort of turn this game around.
You mentioned getting creative on offense. And now a new set of downs for this Crockett team that was struggling. That's a gutsy call right there, but a great call to buy them an extra set of plays here. Wynn fires to his big tight end. That's Mullis on the catch for a few.
Yeah, that was wasn't going to go much anywhere. Bo Utzman right there in the coverage, a good place for the tackle.
They really like Mullis as a target in the short area, and you see he's got that big catch range. He's listed at 6'6", 220.
Yeah, spent his offseason working with another tight end we know really well, Corbin Lazier, who is Sullivan East product. Both of them train at D1 right now, and Lazier's D1 prospect out of Colorado. I shouldn't say out of Colorado because he's out of East Tennessee, but plays for Colorado.
So that ends the first quarter as the Vikings, on a beautiful night here from the Stone Castle, lead this one 15-0. We'll take a break and have more coming up on Gridiron Game Day.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching, rent the right size tools for your size jobs. In store, online, or in app at Sunbelt Rentals, where tools rule.
Welcome back to the Stone Castle here tonight as you see the sun set behind the mountains. What a view. And we are reminded to move smarter with Parker. Thank you to Danielle Parker, a proud supporter of the Tennessee High Viking program. She reminds everyone that real estate never goes out of style. Partner with her and you'll move smarter with Parker. Danielle providing the sponsorship of the drone tonight, always, and thank you to United Southeast Federal Credit Union for sponsoring our replays, as well as we get some excellent shots and some double takes on some of these great plays we've seen throughout the season. Second quarter, ready to roll. Second down as we flip sides of the field here, and A.J. Wynn trying to organize a drive here for David Crockett to get some points. Zeke Sloan, the back, and he's met by Fagans and driven backwards.
Chris, they had twins right and twins left, and the Vikings still had 7 in the box. You're going to have to get them out of that.
See all those bodies in there. And Fagans in the right place at the right time, as he has been throughout the season.
Had a coach call him the old school thumper. I think that's a pretty good description of what that young man brings to the table.
Right there in the middle of that Viking defense that has been so effective. Third down, Wynn looking long. It's double caught by Taylor. He runs backwards, though, and he's going to be a yard shy. I think if he'd just fallen down,
Yes,
he might have had it.
I agree. And for the first time tonight, by the way, or one of the first times tonight, Wynn actually had protection right there in time to throw the football.
Clean pocket. Delivers to Chase Taylor, who they say has the best set of hands on the team. We're moving quickly here on 4th and 1. Here's a push forward by Wynn, and that's going to be hard to stop with the big body of A.J. Wynn.
And Chris, it just bleeds down from the NFL, doesn't it? I mean, first it went down to college. Eagles made this famous with Jalen Hurts, and now we're seeing it everywhere.
No matter what they do, nobody can run it as good as the Eagles, though.
Well, that's a very strong quarterback in Jalen Hurts.
Sure. They've perfected it.
Yes.
Although some might say that the offensive line is not lining up on side on those plays from what I have seen. First down, handoff Sloan, and push backwards. Give him 3.
So for the first time tonight, Chris, I'm starting to see a little bit of space being created by this offensive line of the Pioneers. Number 56 right there on Fagans goes out, hits that open space to the next level, and is able to create some additional space. Although if you watch that play, Chris, there was a bit of a hold right there. A bit of a tug on the jersey of Fagans.
New back in the game is Bradburn, and he gets it on 2nd down. Pushes across the 45, and he stood up, but here come the legs, and that's just great effort.
Yes, and that's what he brings to the table. Like I said, plays the hammer on defense. You know where that name came from?
Give it to me.
Jack Ham from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
As a Steelers fan,
yes, sir.
Being a Steelers fan, I'm not surprised that you had that nugget.
And right then, Chris, he hit the line like a hammer, too.
So timeout here for Tennessee High as they want a chance to talk as this Crockett team is rolling. All right, so we're starting to see Crockett push it a little bit up the field, and we're told that their best lineman this season has been none other than Keegan Stonecipher, who you see there on your screen. Hope, can you tell us a little more about Keegan?
Yeah, so number 71, who's a senior, Keegan Stonecipher, he actually moved with his family from Oregon due to cultural and geographical reasons. He was actually contracted Lyme disease, which caused him to miss out on 80% of last year. And he was actually sent to the ICU after a misdiagnosis at an urgent care. But the 6'6", 280-pound tackle and defensive end had a type 2 heart blockage as a result of the Lyme disease. But he's since now made a full recovery and is now a starter for the Pioneers.
Thank you, Hope. Appreciate the extra nugget there on Stonecipher, who Coach Chanley was very high on, said he's their best graded offensive lineman this year.
Yeah, one of the things Coach Chanley shared with me as well is just how much that brought the community together praying for that young man last season.
Little pre-snap movement here.
Start.
Flag on the play.
71, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Right away, I think they
Down
got
remains
Stonecipher
first.
on the early jump there. Still, though, he has been really solid. Let's take another look, and there you go. Just got a little bit of a start. He must have heard we were talking about it.
Yeah. He grades out as the highest offensive lineman, and with his size, Chris, you just know someone, very high GPA as well, someone's going to take a flyer on this kid.
First and 15 now. This ball dropped, and Wynn just able to get it. Honaker was right in his grill there.
Chris, I bet Honaker's eyes were the size of saucers right there, man.
Hey, he's a greedy kid. Last week, fell on the ball in the end zone, did a little dance. He was seeing it again. So we've gone backwards out of that Tennessee High timeout as Crockett had the penalty and the drop snap.
Yeah, you'd have to feel like right now this is a throwing situation. Watch Chase Taylor down here at the bottom in the boundary.
Another drop.
one.
Wynn looks up, Harkleroad intercepts it at the 30. And tripped up from behind. A great tackle by Gabe Story, but that drive was kind of doomed right there, and that is not a surprising result.
Harkleroad had one last week, right? One
sure
this
did.
week. A young man just has a nose for the football. And we'll see now if this Vikings offense can put their foot to the little throats of the Pioneers.
An off-balance throw, and how often do you see throws like that, but the corner doesn't have his eyes back and doesn't see it? But that's what you want in those defensive backs, to be able to see, to turn the head and look back the other way. So the Vikings with a chance to add on to their lead here in the second quarter. Plumbar bursts forward for a first down.
A great job right there by Lomans and Allison, that guard tackle combination on the right side to create that hole.
Do you think Tennessee High missed number 1, Ron?
Yes, at a lot of different levels, but yes.
He is a special player, and he just seems to keep getting better on his way back from that injury from last season. 1st and 10.
I think so dangerous as his presence makes the receivers better too, Chris.
Lombard hit, but again, keeps the legs moving and somehow picks up 3 yards on a run that looked like it might get nothing.
Yeah, sniffed out right there pretty well by the Pioneers.
Look at the battle at the offensive line. Good little push there from Peyton Lomans, the right tackle.
A little spin move by Seth Baldridge right there forced everything back inside for Blumbar.
Richardson looking to go to the air. Tucks and runs. Richardson on the move. Sprints to the 25. Richardson towards the pylon. Discussion. Wait, the lights say touchdown. The ref says touchdown. Jack Richardson breaks loose for 6.
And Chris, if we go back to that replay, he literally broke the ankles. Not literally, figuratively. Let me correct myself. But watch this. This move that he makes right here. Look at this, Chris. Whoop, whoop.
Another one here. Gets a block.
Oh, he gets a good block right there.
And then let me race you. What a great job. Extra point. Dexter Dishner up and good. And the Vikings are rolling here tonight in what is a crucial region game for playoff seeding. Vikings leading at 22-0.
Well, I can tell you to this week, his rushing stats were 13 for 59. That's drastically going to change after that run.
Up over 100 there for Richardson. All Vikings here in the second quarter. We'll be right back here on Gridiron Game Day.
For 85 years, United Southeast Federal Credit Union has proudly served our neighbors in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We're more than a financial institution, we're part of the community. With 6 convenient branches and a team dedicated to your financial well-being, we're here to help you grow, save, and thrive. On the go, our mobile app and online banking make managing your money easy. United Southeast Federal Credit Union, helping our members live better lives.
Vikings leading 22-0 after the long touchdown run by Jack Richardson, and we'll see it again courtesy of United Southeast Federal Credit Union. And here's that move you like so much, Ron.
Yeah, just some athleticism right there by that young man. You know, we don't think about him as being the quickest, but boy, he showed some speed that time. Great block on Devin Sanders as well by the Vikings.
Ball on the ground here on the kickoff, but recovered by Story. The Vikings out in front. All right, we've got our score here, 22-0, but check out our new little score bug. We can see how things are going around the area. And how about that Jeff County Dobbins Bennett game? A lot of people really circling that one, and Sevier County doing what Sevier County does in region play.
A little bit surprised last week by the Jeff County Science Hill game, so we expected that one to be a good one, and it's living up to the billing.
Another first down here as Wynn sees some room, and now he wants to try to match what Richardson did. Not to the end zone, but does pick up a first down.
Lee Price right there on the tackle. And Chris, you know, a lot of this, they're just simply creating.
Saw Wynn get up a little slowly there, and you can't help but think about the injury he had in week 2 on that right foot. See here, that one might have been that extra hit by Fagans there late, but a willing runner picks up the first down. And off in the backfield, Casey, and my goodness, a wave of maroon.
Fagans on that, Harkle Road on that. And Chris, how many times tonight have we seen just that plethora of Viking players coming to the ball?
Let's look at the hats flying to the football. 4 Viking helmets right there on the tackle.
Talk about tackling in open space, Chris. When you're flying to the football like that, you got 3 or 5 guys there, and you don't need to tackle in open space.
2nd and 12. Wynn on the roll and just gets it off.
Just a little bit late there on that curl route. Had his man for a moment. But this is what happens to a quarterback when he can't get comfortable.
And I don't know that Crockett really wants to throw the football. You know, most teams want to be pretty balanced, maybe outside of a Westridge type that loves to run the ball. But this is kind of a worst case scenario for Crockett being behind early like this.
They want to be physical and they want to run the football, but this score is going to take that out of play.
A lane handoff. Casey with space, but a collision at the 35, and it's going to force another 4th down.
Chris, Tennessee High, for the most part tonight, has done such a good job of keeping this Pioneer team behind the chains. Got a player limping off.
Story.
Well, I know they were counting on him in a big way tonight with Overstreet out.
4th down 22 points. Crockett lined up to go for this. Maybe trying to force a jump off sides, perhaps. Wouldn't be enough to get him a first down, but play clock winding down, and Coach Chanley's going to burn his 3rd timeout and likely punt the ball here, I would say. Not giving Tennessee High a short field unnecessarily.
Chris, I've seen music tonight almost playing more of a free safety role tonight. I wonder if that's an issue with the hand right there. You know, they want him in coverage, but they don't want him making a lot of tackles.
All right. Hello from the Stone Castle. Thanks for tuning in. And guess what? We'll be back next week as it is another huge region contest for Tennessee High. Obviously up early in this one. If they can salt this one away, that game next week against Morristown West very well could decide who will get a home playoff game in Region 1-5A. We've heard Coach Holt say it over and over again. That's the goal for this team, and while it wouldn't be officially decided next week.
Last week with Daniel Boone, yes.
It wouldn't be officially decided, but that would basically give Tennessee High 2 wins over probably the 2 teams that they're fighting against for that spot. That's why that's so big. And now we have a flag. With 12 on the field here, maybe?
Snap. Illegal substitution. David Crockett. 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty. Down remaining 4.
Back him up 5 yards, and see a punt here. It's Ruben Ibarra Flores on for the kick, and Bo Uxman back to return. Uxman, kind of a weird spin and finally gives up on it.
Yes, and that's so smart right there, Chris. He easily, I know what the competitor to Usman is, that he really wanted to chase that ball down and pick it up. Bit of wisdom right there by that young man.
So 4:38 to go here in the second quarter, and the Vikings are thinking about some more points. Last week against Abingdon, Tennessee High was only able to muster 6 points. So a improved effort. Ron, you had mentioned a complete game. Tennessee High was looking for those 4 quarters, and I would say this is off to a good start for them. Richardson in command, under pressure. Wow, what great eyes to hit Price on the move near midfield.
Such a great job there by Price after that acrobatic catch to keep his balance and get additional yardage. Boy, Chris, if you're the Pioneers, you just got to think, we're so close. Look at this.
You get a free rusher, doesn't matter.
Yep.
And what a catch by Price. He was kind of quiet. We highlighted him last week. He didn't even touch the ball last week against Abingdon, but.
Well, when you have a 6'6" Mullis coming after you, you kind of get motivated to move.
Yes, for sure. Carter Smith, the new back in the game. And there's Carter Smith. He runs so hard, and we've said it every week, but coming in the second quarter, when he hasn't touched the football and you say, get in there and go get him, young man, with those fresh legs.
So just 125 yards on the season so far to this point. And he'll add to his average as well, Chris. And this ability to roll in fresh running backs for the Vikings, boy, is that nice.
Richardson. Wow, slips it. Still alive, looking to create some magic. And he gets a few yards. I mean, Ron, you're talking about a sack there of minus 10 or 15, and he makes a positive play out of it.
Yeah, trips right there by the Vikings on the left side, but great coverage by the Pioneers. There just wasn't anybody open. And still somehow the Vikings make a huge play out of that.
Second and short after some more creativity by Richardson. Carter Smith, enough for the first down and keeps the chains moving. We're down close to 3 minutes to go in the first half.
And after Richardson ran around for about 56 yards over the entirety of the field, that handoff was probably welcomed.
Yeah, he maybe signaled for the sideline for that one. I need a breather. 4 wide on 1st and 10. To the air, Harkle Road complete. And ducks out of bounds right around the 10-yard line.
Big cushion right there for Harkle Road. Pioneers respect what he can do. But Chris, when you have that, it's just an easy pitch and catch.
Just maximizes every yard he can get. Gets down to the 10. Punching one in here for Tennessee High right before the break would be huge. I believe they get the ball back to start the third. Smith just tripped up. That's Ezra Haas who was able to get a piece there and spin him down, but they're at the 5.
Because of Harkle Road, he makes a shift. He has 3 defenders that go with him, and the middle of the field opens up even a little bit more.
And that's a touchdown saving tackle there from Haas. Smith just 1 touchdown on the season so far. Vikings might be trying to get him another. Play fake, Richardson. He finally goes down. He has slipped so many tackles, but Carson Bradburn was there to knock him backwards.
Yeah, and that may be what the Pioneers need to do tonight to get him down.
Like a little ballroom dance there for a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, Chris, and you know, I almost wonder if that was a broken play.
Well, we are about to have a quarterback change here as Knox Kazee is coming on in that big package. Fagan's Music, Cooper Booer out there as well. Now we know Kazee can run, but he can throw it too. And that one a little too low for Harkleroad on the slant. And we've got some pushing and shoving here after the play, and there is a flag, so we'll see what this is.
I think we got a player down too, Chris.
Yeah.
See if we can get a number.
We're having a discussion. I think the flag's going to be on Tennessee High. Coach Chanley came out a little upset. You see, he's all the way out on the field there and having some discussions.
Can't quite tell who it is. I can tell that Devin Sanders is the one that's kneeling next to him. We got a number now. Right there.
Perry.
Yes.
Ethan Perry. He missed the game last week. He missed it due to injury against Gate City. Coach Chanley told us he would be back this week. And he is up on his feet.
Yeah, you know, he's a two-way starter for these Pioneers, so that's a big loss right there. We'll just keep an eye on him and see if he's able to return.
So we're still having some conversation here with the officials on what exactly the call is going to be. There is a flag on the play. It is also 4th down, and part of the conversation may be how to enforce this. I'm going to assume it is a post-play penalty, and I think we've come to a decision. Here's Larry Hutchinson.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible receiver downfield, number 56. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 56, and he's ejected from the game.
So that is Kai Allison.
Yep. I'm not quite sure what he did there, Chris. I don't know if we could go back and see.
I know our crew was,
yeah, we just missed it on the corner of the.
Yeah, we've been kind of keeping an eye on the replays. Our truck's kind of scrolling through, looking to try to find what exactly happened. We don't have a great view of it. Now, we mentioned that Chanley came in really late and was a little confused, upset even, as I believe Alex Carey has just changed jerseys from 13 to 51, and he's going to go in and play some offensive line here.
We talked about that this week, how much he enjoys wearing that number 13. Now, Coach Holt couldn't give us a reason for it. He just said he's really attached to that 13, but he's going to put that 51 on right here. I'm trying to see if I can see Allison on the sideline to see what kind of reactions coming out of him. I think Chris just pointed it out to me. He's got a coach over there. I think that's more of some encouragement maybe than it is getting your rear end chewed out.
Well, we didn't have a great view of it, of what exactly happened, as you see Allison there on the sidelines as he's been ejected from the game. But we do know that Crockett, in terms of Coach Chanley, was very upset about what happened, and some of the fans on the Crockett side were also very vocal about what happened. Wish we had a view for you. But it is 4th down and goal from the 27. And this play stopped again. Perhaps a legal motion.
False start. Offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty. Down
you know,
remains
Chris,
4.
as sharp as they've been tonight, as well as they've played, this has not been a good couple minutes for the Vikings.
Had it down inside the 10. Carter Smith with some powerful runs and have gone backwards since. And here, you know, you don't see 4th and goal from the 32 too often.
There's Harkleroad at the top of the screen. With what he can do, it would not be a bad time for a fade route.
Richardson on the move. Floats it up. there's a pass interference. Now, something to note here is that is not an automatic first down at the high school level. If this was college or NFL, that's a first down.
Pass interference, defense, number 12. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Down remains, fourth down.
Good job by Richardson on fourth down, just to throw it up and try to draw it. And they got Price from behind right there. It's a good call.
Yeah, you can't go over the top like that. Number 12 right there, Sean Summers. There's a real good coverage. And this provides real good coverage in the secondary, but just cannot do that.
So fourth down and goal again. Now the 17-yard line for the Vikings, a little bit more manageable.
Yes, and this opens up additional passing routes you didn't have from that distance.
Comes a trick play reverse. Riley Price in the backfield looking for room. And swallowed up. We've seen the reverse kind of work a little bit for Tennessee High this season, especially on that fourth down play last week against Abingdon. I think it was 4th and goal from the 18, but this time it doesn't work. It's a turnover on downs, and Crockett keeps the Vikings out of the end zone.
Josiah Antone right there. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sort of broke that up with that penetration.
He's just a freshman, but he's got a lot of time here early in the year. It was impressive last week against Gate City in garbage time. Quinn, quick throw along the side, and Carrier is hit out of bounds.
You had some Crockett faithful right there moaning and groaning on that hit too. Although that was a perfectly legal hit. Still in bounds right there when the hit comes.
Here's another peek. Probably timed well by music, but does end up going into the marker, which is not always fun.
It looks worse than it is.
A yard pickup on first down. Clock becoming an issue here, of course, as we're down under a minute and a half. Another quick throw to the sideline. This one off the hands of Sean Summers.
You know, Chris, what the Vikings have done so well tonight is they play that 4-eye, where they take that defender and they put him in the four gap right there, or hole, if you will, lined up on the inside. But they've sent trailers tonight, went on delayed blitz to provide that extra pressure, and it's just rattled the Pioneers this evening.
So third down, if you're Crockett here, no timeouts left. Do you run the football and try to waste a little clock? I mean, Tennessee High does have some timeouts remaining, one, so they could stop it and try to get it back. Wynn completes it out of bounds. This is 4th and short. Again, that's Summers, and I think you're probably punting this here, backed up that far.
Yeah.
Make Tennessee High kind of drive the field as we see the punt unit coming on.
Now to your point, if they do punt it here, Tennessee High is going to get the ball back with a timeout and 1:07 on the clock.
Because the receiver went out of bounds.
Yes. Chris, it's so funny. The little things in this game make all the difference.
Oh, snap. Ibarra Flores, end over end kick, and a great bounce.
Yes.
Wow.
Down at the 29.
Yep. Settles there as Haas picks it up. So a 1:04. Oh, well.
A minute.
The clock in the stadium's at 57 seconds. So just under a minute to go, and Tennessee High does have one timeout left. We'll see how aggressive the Vikings are here and trying to find some more points before the break. Carter Smith is the back. Here's Harkleroad on a touch pass. And there's a flag, and that looks like a face mask.
Yeah. They put Harkleroad in motion several times tonight.
He's been really good all year on that jet sweep action.
That actually counts as a pass too,
It
Chris.
does, yep. And Crockett was right there waiting for him. There's Bradburn again.
Personal foul, face mask, for 7. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, now, Chris, this may cause the Vikings to get a little bit more aggressive right here.
It's marked at the 44. They have got the clock rolling here, though. 1st and 10. Harkle Road in motion again. This time it's Smith. And across the 50. Clock rolling. We're under 30 seconds. Kind of a passive move here by Tennessee High, looks like. We're down to 10 seconds. Richardson thinking long. One-on-one with Harkle Road. And he can't get there. 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah, a little bit of bumping, a little bit of hand jockeying right there, but
yeah, nothing.
And you know, Chris, too, as an official, in all fairness, it's kind of hard to throw the flag at this, you know, place in the game. Although I will tell you, the corner right there, never look back at the football.
May have been uncatchable there for Harkle Road. So 1 second left for the Vikings here at 3rd down and 8. 3rd down and 2, excuse me. Handoff Smith. He is wrestled down. It is a 1st down. And we've got a flag, I believe. Yep, before the teams run off the field, we got a flag here.
This flag is.
I'm going to guess it was on Tennessee High with some shoving there after the play.
Correction.
Personal foul. Defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
Okay. So half cannot end on a defensive penalty. So we're going to have an untimed play here on the personal foul.
Well, we could trot Dishner out and let him try a 44-yard field goal.
Well, one more shot at the end zone here. Let's see what the Vikings draw up here on this final play. It's a give to Smith and inside the 20, and that will be the final play of the 1st half. So the Vikings come out strong in that 1st half. 22 points to start, as it was a pretty complete performance. We saw Tennessee High get in on the 1st drive. They had a pick 6 that Cooper Boer had. Jack Richardson had a really impressive run as well, and the Vikings are in full control here at the break. 22-0, Tennessee High over David Crockett in a crucial region matchup here from the Stone Castle on Gridiron Game Day.
Energy. There's more to it than keeping the lights on, because we're served by public power, owned by the people who live here, and charged with one purpose: helping our communities thrive. Together, we support what matters to us, like more job opportunities, protected lands, and local education. You see, it's about more than power. It's about how we use our energy for a better tomorrow. That's community energy.
You're looking live here at the Stone Castle as we are at the break. Tennessee High leads this one 22-0 as they are looking to pick up a big win and try to solidify their region spot, playoff positioning on the line here in this contest with David Crockett tonight as we head to the halftime break. And it is a special night here for Tennessee High, as it is their homecoming. And we see several candidates there on the field getting ready to walk out and be recognized. We'll throw it down to the field for homecoming ceremonies.
At this time, we are going to introduce the members of the homecoming court for fall homecoming. We will begin with the freshmen members of the court. Matilda Blanton, daughter of James Blanton and Mandy Blanton, escorted by Gannon Meyer, son of Derek Meyer and Candy Meyer. Crew Nelson, daughter of Amy Howren, escorted by Peyton Walker, son of Tim and Victoria Walker. Leah Terrell, daughter of Alan Terrell and Ashley Hankins, escorted by Eli Reagan, son of John and Nikki Reagan. Jenny Sword, daughter of Parker and Katie Sword, escorted by Rhett Miller, son of Brian and Shannon Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your freshman homecoming court. Now the sophomores, Carly Harmon, daughter of Kate White and Jack Harmon, escorted by Knox Kazee, son of Brett and Andrea Kazee. Nyla Prophet, daughter of Wally Prophet and Kara Mouse, escorted by Cannon Stallmaker, son of Nate and Dara Stallmaker. Camilla Sells, daughter of Clint and Amanda Sells, escorted by Bo Utzman, son of Josh and Leah Utzman. Carly Warwick, daughter of Drew and Courtney Warwick, escorted by Carter Smith, son of Cody Smith and Kayla Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the sophomore homecoming court. Now the juniors, Piper Chappell, daughter of Anthony and Tamara Chappell, escorted by Brian Wright, son of Brian and Ann Wright. Kara Dixon, daughter of Joe and Christy Dixon, escorted by Elijah Plumbar, son of Bethany Piper and Joshua Plumbar. Delaney Linkus, daughter of Derek and Teddy Linkus, escorted by Frank Reed, son of Frank and Jen Reed. Kate Walk, daughter of Roger and Rachel Walk, escorted by Aiden Burton, son of Brian and Krista Burton. Let's hear it for your junior homecoming court. And finally, the seniors. Bree Adams, daughter of Brad and Mark Adams, escorted by Cooper Boer, son of Jason and Christine Boer. Grayson Clark, daughter of Trevor and Aaron Clark, escorted by Jack Richardson, son of Matt and Lindsay Richardson. Sydney Clark, daughter of Trevor and Aaron Clark, escorted by Milo Ochoa, son of Luis Montez and Flora Quintanilla. Emma Dollar, daughter of Jason and Christina Dollar, escorted by Ian Gassett, son of Ken Gassett and Kim Gassett. Lucy Millwood, daughter of Mark and Emily Millwood, escorted by Landon Johnson, son of Danny and Angie Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your senior homecoming court. The Student Council would like to say a special thank you to the students, staff, and administrative team for participating and helping with a great homecoming week. A special thank you to all those assisting in tonight's halftime ceremony. Ms. Kirk, the THS JROTC, and the Student Council advisors, Alyssa Ison, Hope Kinley, Ingrid Elam, and Denise Strong. Also assisting with tonight's homecoming crowning are 2024 King and Queen, Colin Brown and Riley Talbert. And now, your fall 2025 homecoming royalty. The freshman princess is Jenny Sword, and the freshman prince is Peyton Walker. The sophomore princess is Nyla Prophet, and the sophomore prince is Knox Kazee. The junior princess is Piper Chappell, and the junior prince is Frank Reed. We had a really close race for senior prince and princess, so we have two of each. We'll introduce each couple individually. The senior princess is Bree Adams, and the senior prince is Ian Gassett. Also, our senior princess is Sydney Clark, and senior prince is Landon Johnson. And last but certainly not least, the 2025 Homecoming King and Queen. Your homecoming queen is Lucy Millwood, and your homecoming king is Cooper Boer.
All right, congratulations to all the winners of homecoming here tonight, but especially the king and queen. As you see there in the center of your screen, Lucy Millwood and Cooper Boer. We're here at halftime. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more Gridiron Game Day right after this.
The places we call work and home are starting to look more and more alike. When you could live and work anywhere, why not make it somewhere extraordinary, where the air is fresher, your paycheck goes further, and at up to 10 gigabits per second, the internet is some of the fastest in the country. Whether you need to be connected or get reconnected, Bristol is ready. Start your next chapter at bristolisready.com.
You may know BTES's employees from here and here, but we are also here and there and also over there. We are your neighbors, your friends, your community, and your trusted resource for energy and connectivity. We are BTES.
Gridiron Game Day. We're here with the homecoming king and queen, Lucy Millwood and Cooper Boer. So how does it feel to be named homecoming king and queen?
I feel very honored to be named as the homecoming queen.
And what about you?
It feels great. Nothing better than playing football and then having events like this on a Friday night.
Awesome. Well, what was y'all's favorite part about homecoming week?
My favorite part of homecoming week was seeing the school come together, from all the dress-up days to the pep rally today. It's just fun to see everyone as one and just celebrating the same thing.
Awesome. And what about you?
Well, I've been really busy focusing on beating Crockett, but I was excited for homecoming. It's always a great time every year.
Yeah, great. And what are y'all's plans after high school?
After high school, I plan to attend college and hopefully pursue a career in nursing.
Great. And what about you?
I'd like to continue playing football somewhere in college.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, and congratulations again. And we've got some more coming up here soon, more interviews, so just stay tuned, and we'll be back after this.
Hey, I'm Josh Warner. I'm the franchise owner-operator at Chick-fil-A at the Pinnacle in Bristol, Tennessee. I joined Chick-fil-A in 1996 as a teenager and worked for Chick-fil-A through college, and we've loved being able to come back to Bristol and open our Chick-fil-A here. We have been very thankful and appreciative for the work that BTES has done for us with the reliability of their services. We've been pleased to use them for our internet and phone services as well as electrical utilities. Everything has been phenomenal, especially the business services division, which has provided great support for us.
Welcome inside the Stone Castle. We are at halftime Vikings with an impressive first half again as their defense continues to shine. As another scoreless half, Tennessee High has only allowed 14 points in their last 15 quarters of football now. That's less than 1 point per quarter, if that math is correct. Ron, let's take a look at the highlights as we got started with Elijah Plumbar doing his thing.
Yeah, just so athletic, able to just find a small hole and create something really out of not much.
Big first drive, and then how about the homecoming king with a pick six?
Making memories on both sides, isn't he, tonight?
And a little 2-point conversion action here right after the Cooper Brewer score as Harquell Road gets a few more points to his impressive season. And then how about this long run by Jack Richardson, making it happen with his legs?
Yeah, and just the move right there. Just keep those legs moving. It shows a little bit of speed right there, you know, and able to get that one into the end zone. We need to mention, too, tonight, by the way, Samore's been clean with the snaps for the most part.
Sure has. All right, here's the numbers here at the break as Tennessee High has doubled up the Pioneers in total yards, gotten a lot of that on the ground. Leading rusher for Tennessee High is Elijah Plumbar with 67 yards. Carter Smith with 63 coming up off the bench. And as we mentioned a minute ago, Ron, that 1 of 9 on third down for the Pioneers really sticks out.
Yep, stepping up in key moments. You know, you and I talked about the discrepancy between their passing yards and their rushing yards. Almost like Coach Holt said, heard us tonight and said, we're going to reverse this a little bit tonight. 186 rushing yards in that first half. Control the game by running the football. We saw that from the Vikings.
So some impressive numbers for the Vikings as we are here at halftime. Another shot from high above the Stone Castle. We'll take a break and we'll have more here at halftime. We'll be right back.
In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, where the spirit of community runs deep, Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services has been a cornerstone in our area for almost 80 years. Founded in 1945, BTES began with a simple mission to bring reliable electricity to every home and business in Bristol. Through decades of dedication, innovation, and unwavering service, we've powered dreams and brightened lives. Today, we stand as a testament of progress, offering state-of-the-art services while honoring our rich legacy. Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services, our community's trusted resource for energy and connectivity. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Heather with BTES. And this is The Essentials. Just like our weather in Northeast Tennessee fluctuates as the seasons change, so does your energy usage. To help you budget throughout the year, BTES offers a levelized monthly billing program. Your levelized monthly billing amount is based on a 12-month rolling average of your energy usage. This means that your bill will be approximately the same each month. The amount is re-averaged each month, so there isn't a true-up month. Sign up today and make your monthly budgeting easier. Learn more by visiting btes.net/LMB.
Welcome back. You're looking at a live shot of downtown Bristol. Getting a little foggy out there. As State Street in downtown Bristol, here's some scores from around the area. The game that a lot of people have circled, that Dobbins-Bennett Jeff County game, is living up to the billing. Science Hill, an impressive showing this week and a bounce back from their loss against Jefferson County last week. Sevier County up big, Elizabethton up big. As you kind of alluded to, Ron, there's maybe some lopsided matchups here this week.
Kind of saw that coming. You know, Volunteers up on Northview right now as well. And, you know, we continue to follow that Dobbins-Bennett-Jeff County game. We knew that game was going to be a dogfight. Both those teams playing very well right now, so we'll continue to provide updates through the night on that particular game.
A couple other interesting ones just scrolling through. Abingdon, who we had last week, up 28-0 on Johnson County. Abingdon coming into this week had lost 3 straight games. Good to see them getting it rolling again this week. And that Gate City Union game, for those that are familiar with Southwest Virginia football, it is tied up at 14 apiece. And that one is a pretty big one, as Union's been one of the better teams in Southwest Virginia here over the last couple of years, and Gate City's trying to enter their name into the conversation, and I don't think anybody's surprised with what they've done this year that they're in that game.
Yeah, we've had an opportunity to see them beginning of the year, and we both just remarked on just the physicality of their play. And, the more you start to see the calendar turn, you start getting the a little bit colder, a little bit rainier weather, you've got to have that element in your game if you're going to advance.
Coach Chanley told us that Gate City was the most physical team they've played all year, and they've played some physical. They've played Sevier County and others, so that was quite the compliment for a 2A school in Virginia.
You know, I'll say this too. You know, you couldn't tell by the score, but I thought Abington, Chris, was a very physical team as well.
We did finally get an update on the East Seymour game. At last known score, Seymour leads Sullivan East 21-6. Of course, East looking for their first win of the season.
Heartbreaker last week, unfortunately, for the Patriots.
Had the ball. They had the ball with less than a minute to go and a chance to go win the game. Just couldn't get it in the end zone.
Yeah, actually led most of the way in that one last week.
All right, good look at the football there. That's your DC kicking ball. As Ruben Ibarra Flores kicks this one off, and here we go. Onside kick action, and along the far side was he out of bounds.
I think the ball went far enough, Chris. I'm waiting to see what the indication is here.
I believe the referee is saying that it was touched before the 50-yard line. He's going to mark it at the 49. See if we get an explanation.
We have an illegal touch by the kicking team before it went 10 yards. First and 10.
Ooh. So I love the play call. I love the idea there. Down 22, coming out of half. We've seen Crockett run a fake punt already. A surprise onside, and they almost got it.
Well, Chris, see where the ball is spotted at right now. Right. That will tell you exactly how close it was.
So Tennessee High starts this drive in plus territory again. Give Carter Smith. Explodes. Smith inside the 25, and a flag coming in late. See if we get a look here at the flag. There were kind of hands up in the face area at the end of that run.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down, number 7.
Back to the end of the run there for Carter Smith.
Watch your block right here by the guard as he's able to come out and just seal this off and create the lane right there as he's able to turn that upfield for a big gain. Watch this block right here. Boom.
It's Lomans.
Yep.
First down. Give Smith again, and inside the 10. Seems like a effort here to get Smith in the end zone, and here comes the sub package as Knox Kazee is going to come in the ball game at quarterback. So here's the hard times package, as we've called it the last couple weeks. Kazee, the backup quarterback. He'll run it here. Kazee driving forward. And a late reach, a flag coming in here, though. So we'll wait and see what the flag is here.
Nice block there by Carter Smith, who had himself a good first half.
Number 70, helping the runner, 5-yard penalty, down remains, first down.
You don't see that called often, do you?
Yeah, we just bragged on him. As we take it away. And sure enough, yeah, you don't see that call, but it must have been something really. Let's see if we can pick it up right here, Chris.
Here comes 70 late. Did he even touch him?
It wasn't 70.
He was definitely getting some help.
But it wasn't from 70.
No. They just picked a big guy in the area. Second and short. Smith still fighting. And down inside the 2.
Such a physical run. Just lowers that helmet and just keeps the legs moving.
Carter Smith, 63 yards rushing in the first half.
Yes. Just 6 carries nonetheless.
Just 1 touchdown on the season. Coach Holt has told us they really like Carter Smith, just a sophomore. Kind of that backup now that Plumbar's back. Doesn't have to be that number 1 right now, but they really think he's got a bright future. And remember, Plumbar's back next year as a senior with Smith as a junior. That's a tandem that'll be great a year from now.
Boy, talk about a 1-2 punch.
Kazee under center, shoves forward.
No signal yet. Boy, I'm not quite sure why, Chris. It looked as though, from our viewpoint,
unpile the bodies here. He is just a little shy as Coach Holt's got his hands up asking what's the call, but it's spotted, as you can see, quite close to the goal line.
Yeah, Samora came up just a little bit lame too on that last play. I hope he didn't get run off on the back of. That's lots of times, Chris, for offensive linemen, when you go down and you see them laying down like that, that's a tough spot to be.
Back underway here. See if Kazee goes back in the shotgun or not. Here he comes, or in the under center. Kazee tries again. And short again.
Wow. You give the Pioneers some credit right here. You know, they're standing their ground with the Vikings. There's not been much of a push right there on the last 2 plays.
Kazee just kind of lost his footing, it looked like, on that play. I think I might be in favor of a give to Carter Smith here. Chance to get him in the end zone.
I might be in favor of a runoff tackle instead of right up the middle.
It's Kazee.
And that's what they did too.
Runs right. Ball is out. Dane Music falls on it in the end zone. Touchdown,
wow.
Tennessee High.
With a cast on his hand. Falling down to the ground, somehow with that good arm, able to tuck that ball in.
I'll be honest, Ron, I think it was the arm with the cast on it that he scooped it in. Great job by Music with the recognition to see it.
Great job by that cast guy too there, Chris.
Yes. So another unconventional touchdown here for Tennessee High as Dexter Dishner is going to get a shot at an extra point here and a late flag.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on the field. Kicker team, 5-yard penalty.
Well, now, Chris, this will not be a field goal, right? But this will probably be the closest thing that Dishner's had this season to a field goal. Coach is so high on that kid, you know, he just is having he's just a little bit slow in the operation of the field goal right now. And I think that's the only thing that's really sort of holding the back. Remember, he's only been kicking for a year.
Chance here at an extra point for Dishner. And that one looks pretty good. An extra point for Dishner makes this 29-0. Ron, as you mentioned, Dishner hasn't been kicking very long. Hope, what can you tell us about Dexter Dishner down there?
Yeah, So number 12, he's a junior kicker, Dexter Dishner. So he only started playing football last year and actually came out about this time. He went to a few camps and worked his way from the 3rd string to the starter after the projected kicker actually transferred. And Coach Holt said there's been some tremendous growth there in his game, and he's consistent on kickoffs, pinning teams deep, and while 35 yards is about his range on field goals, his hard work is really rubbing off on the team.
Thank you, Hope. Dishner looked good there. Ron, that was a long extra point, and that might inspire a little confidence with his head coach there to maybe give him some more shots at the field goal.
And you know, the interesting thing is the reason he came out is because there wasn't enough kids for the JV soccer team.
Yeah. Here's that fumble again as you see it pop out. It actually bounces off Music's helmet, and he's able to get on it quickly for the score. Dishner with the kickoff. This is Sam Casey on the return, and a great tackle.
Great job.
Music
there,
again.
Space.
We already had Music not had a cast on his right hand, I would have said it's hard to keep this guy off the field, but still out there doing it.
Chris, it's hard to make that type of open field tackle with 2 good arms.
True. That's a big guy he took down too. So, all right, so Tennessee High gets in the end zone on their first drive of the second half, and now we'll see Crockett's response and perhaps some halftime adjustments. Win over the middle and complete. That's Summers.
Yeah, he just sort of sits in that space in between the zones right there between linebackers and the secondary, and able to find a little bit of space. The other thing we need to talk about too, Chris, is the amount of time that Tennessee High just drained off that 3rd quarter clock.
Already 4 minutes gone here in the 3rd. Already a tall task for David Crockett, especially against this Viking defense that has been excellent in the last several games. There's a keeper and wrestled down. That's Stevens. Isaac Stevens, the senior nose.
I want you to watch right here as Stevens comes in. He actually gets held, Chris, and is still able to make that play. Watch that right there. Hooks him and still able to fight through that. And just as a reminder, this kid's 165 pounds.
He's tough and quick. 3rd and short. Hand off Casey, who was kind of quiet in that first half, but he's got enough for the first down there.
Good run right there by the Pioneers.
Casey had 7 first half carries for only 10 yards. And some of that, you might say, is the Tennessee High defense, maybe some of the Crockett offensive line, maybe a combination of both. But as we gave the stat coming right out of halftime, with the shutout in the first half, Tennessee High has only given up 14 points in their last 15 quarters of football. And that is, that's a number, that's an impressive number. I don't care who you're playing.
Yep.
Here's Bradburn on the carry. Oh, ball came out. Peak is convinced he's got it, but no indication that the ball actually came out. As now Fagans is slow to get up. A little stretch for Fagans, and he's coming off.
Hey, so coming up here in the 4th quarter, the Eddie's Trophy Player of the Game. Stay tuned once again. It will be a Tennessee High Viking tonight. Last week, Elijah Plumbar with 130 yards and a touchdown. So once again, 4th quarter, we'll name that Eddie's Trophy Player of the Game. And a number of different players we could call out right now, Chris, if we had to.
Certainly. There's it's been quite the night for the Vikings on all sides. Pick 6 by Cooper Boer. Quarterback showing off the legs as well, and Jack Richardson. Alex Carey able to get to win and force an incompletion on the far side.
That pressure tonight for the Vikings has just been a consistent.
It kind of goes back to what we saw last week in that Crockett Gate City game. Wynn just did not have much time. We told you that last week Crockett had 88 total yards of offense. Now they're at 110 in the first half, so they've had a lot more success in this game than last week, and part of that is likely because of their reinforcements along the offensive line.
Yes, I think that's exactly it. That inexperience has created some issues.
3rd and long. Wynn makes a move, creates some space on the outside, and Tennessee High rallies to the ball and keeps them shy of the first down. It's 4th down. And at this point with the score, you kind of expect Crockett to just go ahead and keep going for this. That looked like a lot of room to run there for a moment. You saw that great move by Wynn, but look at all the maroon helmets get to the ball.
Plumbar there with the initial contact for the tackle. Of course, Fagan's doing what Fagan's does, finishes it off. 4th down right here, Chris.
Crockett trying to find some momentum. And on 4th, nearly intercepted. That's Ian Peak, who we saw have that pick-6 touchdown against Science Hill. Able to knock that one away, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, if you watch Peak right out here on the side, as this wheel route takes place, he just shows just a great deal of patience right there as he stays in that lane and breaks that up. That's not easy, Chris.
Good vision.
Stays right in that lane.
It's a good assignment right there. So the Vikings get the football back, looking to add on to their lead. 4 wide receivers. Stallnaker, the new back in the game, and he gets the football, picks up a few.
Stallnaker's first carry of the night?
Sure is. Stallnaker's been really good this year. You know, early in the season without Plumbar, Tennessee High was trying to find the right combo. Stallnaker's got over now 180 yards on the season. So that's if that's your 3rd running back, you're feeling pretty good.
And carries just in the mid-30s, so you know he's averaging close to 5 yards per carry.
Richardson takes off again and lays a lick inside the 30. Uh-oh. Getting stretched out there.
Yes. When he first kind of did that, I thought, oh, that looks like an ankle, but. And boy, Chris, Richardson's legs tonight. Can we talk about that for just a little bit and what it's meant?
Last year, Richardson had about 140 yards on the ground. This year, it's expanding a little bit. He's close to 100 now. But it's not only, we've seen him in the sprint out game, but he's such a creative runner. And this is an athlete, too. State qualifier in the long and the high jump as well. So very athletic. He gives way here to Knox Kazee. And Stallnaker finds a lane inside the 10 and wrestled out of bounds.
And Chris, I'm not sure that play was designed to run that way, and Stallnaker just saw it all just sort of blocked up and changed course. Watch this right here.
Just bottled up?
Yes.
That's great vision.
Just turn it the opposite way.
And we haven't really gotten to see Kazee throw the ball much. We saw him, there was an incomplete pass early in this game down here on this end. But as Coach Holt told us this week with Knox, don't forget that he can throw it too. It's not just the legs. And he's likely the heir apparent at quarterback. Go to the ground here, cut to the end zone and find it again as Knox Kazee is in the end zone for another Viking touchdown.
No doubt about that one right there.
Chris, this rushing attack of the Vikings has been on full display tonight. Give credit to this offensive line.
4th touchdown of the season for Kazee. And remember, Kazee missed several games as well. He was hurt early in the season. Came back against Virginia High. He's got a touchdown in each of Tennessee High's last few games. You throw Plumbar back in there as well, as Dishner has this kick blocked at the line of scrimmage. But 35-0, our score. All right. As we get prepared here, final few minutes, let's take a peek at Jonah Cunningham. Jonah, a senior at Tennessee High School, plays the mellophone in the band and plans to attend college after graduation with future aspirations of becoming a hardware engineer. His favorite meal from Chick-fil-A is the spicy chicken sandwich meal with American cheese. That's the Chick-fil-A Spotlight, Jonah Cunningham.
So now, Chris, you're going to have to educate me. What's a mellophone?
It's an instrument, Ron.
You're a music guy, Chris. Come on, man.
I'm a music guy, but I'm not an instrument guy. I'm more of a vocal guy. Man, my music teachers in college are probably, well, they're not watching this, but if they were, they would be disappointed. 35-0.
I've not been able to stump you often. Who knew that it would actually come on a music question?
That kickoff dropped. And breaking free. That's your quarterback right there. No, Casey. Okay. Yeah, thought that was a 4 there for a moment, but that's Sam Casey who comes out of the scrum with a nice return.
It just sort of bumps off everything, is able to find the lane.
I think a few Vikings thought that play was over, and it wasn't.
Well, they had Dishner deep. That would have been interesting.
Ron, the mellophone is a coiled brass instrument with 3 piston valves, typically pitched in E flat or F, used in marching bands.
Couldn't let it go, could you?
Bradburn on the carry, gets a few on first down. It just hit me. I didn't have to look that up or anything. I was just like I was reading out of a textbook. Bradburn has been kind of that 3rd back for Crockett tonight.
And Stokes with that penetration right there. We are in continuous clock now, Chris.
The ball gets away here. Oh, little hungry hippos action there late from Wynn. 3rd and a while. I will say you got to appreciate there for Bradburn. He's got that Guardian cap on. He's really easy to identify here from the booth. You see Wynn protect that football there. 3rd and 27. And a long ball. Taylor, did he come up with that? My goodness, what a catch.
Wow. That young man just lays out, is able to make that. Chris, when that ball was up in the air, I didn't think he stood a chance.
That's a contested catch. Taylor, as we said earlier, they say he's got the best set of hands on the team. Watch him on display.
And Chris, I'm going to tell you, there's not many times that you beat Harkle Road in coverage.
And remember, that was 3rd and 27, and they picked it up. Impressive. He came in on the season with just shy of 100 yards receiving. And he's had to step up tonight in the absence of their top target, Jackson Overstreet, who is unavailable tonight. Quick slant ball pops up. That's picked off. Frank Reed. Reed still on his feet and finally wrestled down as the Vikings have their 3rd interception of the night on defense.
We talked about it. Pressure creates turnovers, and we've seen it now. I'd like to see who had coverage right there and stuck that hand in there to break that pass up. We got it.
Yeah, a little tip drill action. Here's the replay. Thank you to United Southeast Federal Credit Union. I think it was Harkle Road.
I think it was Harkle Road, too.
If you had to guess without looking, that might have been the person that you picked, huh?
Well, when you got long arms like that, boy, it helps in coverage, doesn't it?
So with that running clock, we head to the 4th quarter. Tennessee High leading Crockett 35-0. All right, let's throw it down to the field. I think Hope's got some special guests down there.
Hey, we're here with the girls soccer team. We've got Lucy and Noelle, and they're kind of wrapping up their season right now. So how has that season, how has it gone for you guys?
The season has been great. We have adjusted, I say, very well. This is our 2nd year with Coach Meade, and he is just doing a phenomenal job with us, and I feel very proud of our team for facing the adversity the way that we have.
Awesome. And what was y'all's record this year?
Ooh, our record.
I think, you know, right?
It's 5-5-1, I'm pretty sure. Was it?
Something like that.
Okay, something around that. That sounds good. Well, it sounds like you guys have had a good season so far. And what has your favorite memory this season been?
I would probably say the DB game when we won in PKs. That was a really great, just fun time.
Yeah, that's exciting. So you've got the playoffs coming up. I know that'll be exciting and fun. So what are you most looking forward to for the playoffs?
I'm excited to see our team face some challenge, but also hopefully be successful. I feel like we do very well under pressure, and so that will be fun to see it all pan out.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming down here for a little bit, and good luck in the playoffs, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
How about Lucy Millwood down there? She's the homecoming queen, gets the interview for the soccer. What can't she do?
Yeah, girls sports here at Tennessee High are always strong. You know, whether it's basketball or softball or volleyball or soccer, typically strong showings. I will tell you real quick, Chris, that Dobbins-Bennett has taken a lead over Jeff County 21-14.
Richardson looking for space, and he's going to tuck and run again. And Richardson decides to go down there to avoid any other harm.
Boy, Ethan Perry for the Pioneers is going to go back and look at film and just talk about what could have been, because he's been close all night long. Chris, this seems like a Vikings team that sort of knows where they're at, and they're just sort of slowing things down.
No need to rush here with the 35-point lead and the clock rolling. Carter Smith wrapped up right away. And we're starting to get a little chippy here. Coach Holt, you know, we've talked a lot with him about rivalries. We saw Virginia High get back on the schedule for Tennessee High this year as this brings up fourth down. But this is probably the closest thing that Tennessee High has to a rivalry in their own region. It's kind of spaced out.
Yeah. You know, it very well could be Sevier County.
Yeah, certainly in terms of success, I would say.
Yes.
But regionally, Crockett, one of the closer teams to the Vikings, as Richardson punts this one out of bounds. All right, here in the fourth quarter, it's time for our lineman versus lineman feature. And this week, it's Ryan Samora, who has done a really nice job. He's cleaned up the snaps. We were talking about that earlier.
Yes.
Mentioned he loves that 620 sushi. So watch out, State Street. Ryan Samora heading to you soon. How about Ryan Strong? Different spellings, same name. 6-year employee of BTES, and he's a Texas Roadhouse guy.
Can't go wrong with steak.
How about those rolls, though?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm a big sushi guy too. It must be good because I keep hearing it talked about in Bristol.
Well, you're going to have to take a visit. First down here for Crockett. They're trying to find their first points of the game here late as Wynn breaks free. This has been his bread and butter tonight. And sneaks out of bounds.
Good job by Wynn right there as he just sees a gap and runs up it. You know, he's got a brother at Western Illinois, the Leathernecks. What a great name for a team. He plays tight end for them. Both of these Wynn brothers also throw the discus, and both brothers are very good at it from what I understand.
First down for Crockett here at midfield as we tick down towards the 8-minute mark. Here's that new back in the game. This is Josiah Antone. Now last week, Antone got in the game against Gate City late. It was a lopsided score, but he had 7 carries for 43 yards, and he was kind of a highlight for them in what was kind of a dismal night.
Yes, and when we talk to Coach Chandler, he's very high on him. And talks about his explosiveness and sort of shiftiness, and you see a little bit of that right there. There's Coach Chandler. Good golfer too, from what I understand. Low to mid to upper 70s. His brother coaches for Tusculum. He's right next to us, next door. Coaches golf at Tusculum.
Are we just going to ignore the facial hair on Chanley, or? Hey, that's a unique look, and he pulls it off.
5-yard penalty, down remains second.
As we're talking about Coach Chanley, also throw out there that he served his country for a couple years in the Air Force as well.
Take a peek there. You ever had any facial hair like that, Ron?
I do a lot of preaching in churches, as you know. My wife's not a big fan of the facial hair. She says I look like a criminal when I start to grow it.
Oh boy. Keep it clean, Ron. 2nd and 9. Nice tackle there on the completion to Carrier. Brenton Baker in the ball game for Tennessee High. We're starting to see some more reserves.
Yeah, great time for them to come in, and that's, we talked about it last week, Chris. I think Coach Holt does such a good job consistently shifting some of these younger guys in, building for the future. He talks about it with us all the time.
Third down and 6. Another low snap. Win downfield. Brenton Baker. 4th interception tonight for this Viking defense as they continue to slam the door.
Come on in, Baker. Come and get you one, son. He's excited right there. And well, he should be.
Just a sophomore, you know the Tennessee High coaching staff is loving to see that when you get some backups in there and they play extremely well.
They turn around and play some offense now too, Chris. Boy, there was just no chance on that ball. There was no leverage at all for the receiver.
Some extra backups here. Going to have to check the roster close here as freshman Gannon Meyer is in the game at quarterback. And freshman Kanan Waldron gets the carry.
Well, we saw him during the halftime in the triangle set up with Kazee and Richardson. Kind of wondered if we might see him tonight. I know Coach Holt's real strong on him. Throws the football really, really well.
With a big game coming up next week for Tennessee High. No need to get anybody injured here coming in, and Mo West here next week. They played Westridge pretty tough last night. Had the lead there late, but Westridge kind of got it together in the 4th quarter and came back to win. But that game next week has, oh boy, a lot on the line.
Coach Chanley, when they played him, they were 0-4, and he said that's the best 0-4 team I've ever seen out of Morristown West. Oh, just a bad handoff right there.
Yep, turnover.
Got that fumble recovery right there. Zeke Sloan.
Zeke Sloan, one of the key seniors on this team, able to get that fumble recovery. That's his third of the season.
Yes. Yep. 25 tackles.
So first down and 10 as Crockett has their best chance to get in the end zone here. Sam Casey. Final minutes ticking down here as Crockett's trying to get in the end zone.
Goes by fast when you get in that continuous clock mode. It's hard to describe.
We've seen Tennessee High do that in each of their last 4 games. Bradburn, nice run. Inside to 15.
Bradburn's just a tenacious player. Hits the hole really, really hard. You know, he's the one who had the 50-yard interception return against West, really, with 2 minutes in the game to help seal that game. Now, they still had to come up with a last-minute stop.
That game winner. Remember, again, I say transitive property every week. Remember that this Crockett team beat Mo West earlier this year. And that doesn't guarantee anything.
I'll be honest with you, if I was Coach Holt, that's the last stat I'd want my team to see.
A little trouble with the snap there as Wynn falls on it. Boy, he's been a gamer, hasn't he? Wynn for Crockett. A little cramp action here. But Wynn here still in the game, fighting late. He's been really good with his legs.
Well, you know, the thing for the Pioneers, too, and I will remind you, they're still in pretty good position for a playoff game.
Sure.
Just with that win against West.
All right. I think it's time to name our Eddie's Trophy player of the game. And it's, you know, it's good when you take the pads off because you've had such a good night. And Cooper Boer has had a great night, a pick-6 early in the ball game. Not only that, Ron, but topped it off with being named Homecoming King as well. Another look at the pick-6 for Cooper Boer as he got in the end zone, and just it's got to be a special night for a senior who's poured a lot of time into this Viking football program.
Such an important part of this team, just a great leader all the way around. Does so well, whether at linebacker or in coverage. Chris, a 315-pound bench for that young man. 34-inch vertical, really quite an athlete.
Congratulations to Cooper Boer. Here's Wynn on the run, doing everything he can to get in the end zone here.
That end zone.
And you know, as much Tennessee High's starting group is not on the field right now, but if you're a backup for Tennessee High, you're trying to preserve this shutout for your starters.
Yeah, and I'm sure the defensive coordinator there for the Vikings does not want to see this shutout go to the byway.
It's Matt Chandler, the longtime coach here on the Tennessee High staff, calling the plays. Down to a minute left to go as Tennessee High is going to move to 4-3 on the season and have put themselves in position for a big game next week with Morristown West, with more playoff positioning on the line. Wynn looks to run. Ball is out. This is picked up. A chance at a big return. This is Lucas Schaefer. Schaefer gets a block. House it.
Boy, Johnny on the spot right there, just being in the right spot. Has one man to beat and is able to leg it out. And that will put an exclamation mark on this one.
Another peek here at the play. That is Alex Carey and Cannon Stallnaker there on the forced fumble. Schaefer, a running back in his sophomore season. That's likely the highlight of his career so far.
Yep. He'll be holding on that ball for a while, I'd say.
Do you get to take them home in high school, Ron?
Sometimes. You can ask.
Can I pay you for it, Coach?
Yeah.
Can I replace it?
Sometimes, Chris, to be honest with you, depends on the size of the school, how many balls they've got. We do have a player down for Crockett is being assisted off the field right now.
Yeah, Ethan Perry, I believe, is getting helped off the field.
And he's really had a good game tonight, too, Chris.
And remember, I mean, he was, as we said earlier, he was injured last week. As we have a timeout called here.
Timeout, David Crockett.
It's really the
First
time
timeout
of
of the
this year,
half.
Chris. You get an injury, and lots of times it's just reoccurring. You can't quite get healed, and you want to be out there.
So as we await the final extra point, another shot of downtown Bristol, and here's that schedule. Look at those wins for Tennessee High, 4 in a row, and look at how many points they've allowed. None against Cock County, 7 against Virginia High, 7 against Abingdon, looking like they're going to have another shutout, their second of the season. And we're almost there here, 30 seconds to go, and so I think it's time to update this stat. Tennessee High looking at giving up just 14 points in 17 quarters, Ron.
Yep. And I'm going to be excited, Chris. You know, let's not put the horse before the cart here, but that Sevier County game is just sort of looming. And if they play like this, I give them a shot against Sevier County, a team I know very, very well. Now, they've got a lot of speed on the outside, but with Harkle Road and Price and Boer out there with Utzman, you know, they can match some of that speed, Chris.
Extra point. Up and good by Dexter Dishner, making that a aesthetically pleasing 42-0. The last few weeks, Ron, 43-7 and 43-7 tonight, looking like 42-0 as we are over the halfway mark on our Gridiron Game Day schedule. We're back here next week, and let's just be honest, you can go back and watch our preview show for the beginning of the season when we tried to predict how all this was going to go, and that October 10th game was one we circled that day to say that game very well could determine if Tennessee High gets that home playoff game, and it's shaping up to look like that's going to be the one.
Yeah, so excited, and I'm sure those players are excited. They've had it circled for a while. It was one of their big goals, right? They wanted a home playoff game.
Be at West Ridge on October 17th as the Wolves are trying to find their way into the playoffs and close out the season at Sullivan East as they will host Northview Academy and trying to get that win on the board there for the Patriots.
Yeah, and meanwhile for Crockett, an open date next week, and they certainly can use it with some of the injuries that they're dealing with right now.
Yep, they'll close out the season with Cherokee, Boone, and Cock County. I would say they'd be favored in 2 of those 3 games.
I would agree with that. Cherokee has shown a lot of improvement in the last couple of years. And of course, that Musket Bowl looming as it does each year.
Yeah, you never know.
Last week of the season.
All right, Bree Adams, our student of the week last week, was recognized for 3,000 assists and 1,000 digs in her career for the Tennessee High volleyball team. Congratulations to Bree Adams. I believe she was also named to the homecoming court tonight as well. That's the final here from Bristol. The Vikings with a shutout, their second of the season, as they blank Crockett 42-0. The Vikings have won 4 straight games. They are now above 500 for the first time this season, and they've got a big-time showdown coming up next week in the Stone Castle. We'll be here for it on Gridiron Game Day as the Vikings host Morristown West for what will likely be a battle for the number 2 seed at worst. At worst in this conference. And if Tennessee High wins that game next week against West, Ron, you're talking about Sevier County.
Yep.
All eyes will be on that contest the week after that.
Well, I will guarantee you this much, Chris. We talked to Coach Holt this week. I promise you he will say they've still not played a complete game yet.
All right, we're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back with more here post-game. Vikings win it 42-0.
Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services is your hometown provider of electric, internet, telephone, and cable television services. With our robust fiber optic network, we offer internet speeds of 10 gigabits per second to every home and business in our service area. Our mission is to enrich our community while striving to make tomorrow better than today. BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity.
Final score here from the Stone Castle. Tennessee High wins this one 42-0. And a pretty complete performance by Tennessee High. But Ron, kind of what sticks out to me, at least, is, of course, the defensive effort. Anytime you get a shutout, but it wasn't just the shutout. Are nowhere 4 interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns, one by Cooper Boer and then the Lucas Schaefer long scoop and score.
Well, we talked about it tonight to kick the show off, right? Create pressure, create turnovers. They were consistent tonight in creating that pressure. And, you know, if you're the Vikings, I don't know that they necessarily did anything out of the ordinary. You know, I don't think there was really that many stunt blitzes. It was just consistent. Their guys up front beating Pioneers guys up front. And that pressure tonight was really the difference.
With this win, it is the 4th straight win in the series for Tennessee High. Let's take a peek at the scoreboard as Science Hill comes away a winner over Morristown East. A much needed win. Big time game. Dobbins-Bennett and Jeff County, as Dobbins-Bennett leads by a touchdown. Elizabeth and all over Granger there in the 3rd. And at last check, Seymour up on East 21-6 at halftime. So that's what it has shaped up to be. You know, not too many big time scores.
No, not tonight.
Let's go ahead and throw it down. I think Hope's found Coach Holt.
All right, we're here with Coach Holt right now. Congratulations on the win. So, you know, we had a quick start. So what are your thoughts on the game?
You know, that's what we preached all week. We got to start quick, both sides of the ball. And I think they did a great job with that tonight. You know, the way that these kids practice is pretty impressive. They come out every single week and they get better and better and better every single week. And that's what you want pushing this far into the season, especially with conference play coming in and the playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah, and you guys had some great defense today, so what are your thoughts on that?
You know, we hold defense really, really high here at Tennessee High. Not everybody wants to do that. There's a lot of people like throwing the ball around, playing a lot of offense, but we take pride in what we do on defense. And again, it goes back to practice with what Coach Chandler and that whole entire defensive staff does. We run to the ball every day. We're physical in practice, and that carries over on Fridays for us. And it helps us out offensively, too. When we're that physical on defense, it's kind of contagious.
So you mentioned the playoffs a little bit. So how are you guys kind of preparing for that tougher competition, and what do you want to see out of your team?
You know, we had a rough start of the year. We had some pretty good opponents to start the year, and that was all to gear us up for this late conference run right here. And in the state of Tennessee, conference games all that matters when it comes to playoff seeds. So we've got to make sure we have another great week of practice, another game on Friday, the following Friday, then we get a little bit of break, and then it's our last conference game. So everything right here has kind of heavy weight to it when it comes to wins and losses.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time down here with us, and congratulations again.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Another big time win. Thank you, Hope, for the interview there, and thank you to Coach Holt for giving some time to us here after the ball game. Great scene above the field here as we take a look at the highlights for tonight's ball game, and you're going to see a lot of maroon running around. Got to get us started. It was the Elijah Plumbar show. He had the entire first drive to himself, all 49 yards, and found his way into the end zone to get us going.
You know, what is Tennessee High known for? Running the football, being physical. They were that tonight.
Cooper Boer, right place, right time. Good film watching there to expect that screen, and he's our Eddie's Trophies player of the game tonight. This one held in high regard as well, as Richardson with his legs making things happen, and that's another element that's dangerous in this offense.
He did that tonight a lot, really creating a lot out of not much.
Kind of a fun play here as Kazee loses the ball off the helmet of Music and into the arms of Music.
With a cast on his arm nonetheless.
Yes. Then Kazee gets one of his own, able to get into the end zone, not letting Music steal that one from him. And then how about this long, I think it was Stallnaker who got it out eventually. And Lucas Schaefer in mop-up duty. Look at his team out here blocking for him, and Swaggerty delivers the final blow to get Lucas Schaefer a fumble return touchdown.
That's a lot of Viking jerseys running alongside of him, Chris. What a great sign for this team.
You have to just wonder how big the smile was on his face as he was running down the sideline. All right, Beautiful night here from the Stone Castle as we see the final statistics. The Vikings with a big edge there in yards, got it done on the ground quite a bit there. And third down conversions were a big story. I think it was 1 of 9 in the first half, and the Pioneers just couldn't put those consistent drives together.
Yeah, and you know, Chris, I think this is very much a case of the Vikings taking what the Pioneers was going to give them. Ability to run the football, really sort of control the clock in key moments, and Richardson being able to break off some long runs too when they needed it to just keep the chains moving.
5 turnovers right there, that big number. 4 interceptions for the Vikings, and you saw the fumble return as well by Lucas Shaver. A big night for the team in maroon and white as they now move to 4-3. A fantastic bounce back from that 0-3 start against some really good competition. And the truth is, when you look at this Tennessee High schedule, they've played some really good teams and they've played them tight. And really, there's no real reason to think that, as you said, Ron, when they go down and play Sevier County here in a couple weeks, you would kind of expect the same, that it should be a competitive game. All right, Tennessee High, a winner tonight, 42-0, 4 straight wins in a row. Tonight's game airs again tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and all week long on BTES Power 7. And you can stream it, as always, on our YouTube page at BTES Videos. For myself, Chris Mangrum, my co-host Ron Marvel, and the entire Power 7 team, thanks again for watching. This has been a presentation of BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity. Have a good night, everybody.